The through scores. No carries it, and Ottawa gets the opening goal.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Looking to give the Panthers the lead. Barkov sweeping it on Decor between the legs. It makes the move. My goodness! You gotta be kidding me!
Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Destructive work from the monster. Uppercut, body shot again. My, oh my! 3 body shot knockdowns and a knockout victory for the great Naoya Inoue.
What a tremendous Thursday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X, as always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the lovely province of Alberta at PlayAlberta.ca. I'm Jason Gregor. He's Connor Halley, and we have a loaded show for you, man. We got Mike Russo. He would definitely be, without question, I think, top 3 beat reporters for any team in the NHL. From covers the Wild, been around the league a long time in Florida, and now Minnesota. He'll join us. We'll get great insight on the Wild, where the Oilers have not won a game in Minnesota since February 7th. 2019. Whew. That was, and they had ended a losing streak prior. They have not had a boatload of success in Minnesota as of late. Heck, Ty Ratty was on the team that year. He scored that night. Nurse, Ratty, Draisaitl, and Cassian in a 4-1 victory for the Edmonton Oilers, as they will try to figure out a way to get a win. No Joel Eriksson-Ek. He's out. Brodin is hurt. Zuccarello is out. Minnesota's still really good, but they're a little banged up. And the Oilers, maybe some redemption on their minds. They lost to Minnesota 3 weeks ago exactly at home, 5-2. Since then, the Oilers are 6-1. The only loss they had was in Vegas, 1-0. They played quite well. Edmonton's playing their best hockey of the season. There's no question on that, and they will try to continue it tonight. So we'll touch on that. Paul Sir will talk lots of hoops, some basketball. What about college football? A salary cap of $20 million in college football. We'll get into that later on. TR will be by. Greg Wyshynski from ESPN will join us as we talk all things NHL. We got Spec. Also, I think we'll have to move Nick Hamilton because we have the pregame show at 5:30 today. So we'll have to, so that. Also, we'll end our, even though I'll be on the pregame, just because we got a lot of other things going on, we'll end our auction today at 5:30, about 20 minutes before we normally do. So don't sit around and wait. I know some of you like to come in last minute. We got 2 bids, literally in the final 2 minutes, guys who bid for the first time, which is great. It's never an issue, but just warning you in advance, today's items, we will be ending it a little bit earlier than normal, just because of the pregame. We got a lot of stuff to get to in that. So, package, we have 2 of them today. Some great packages. Package number 1. For all of those, do you like eating? Do you like some laughs? Well, here we go. It's going to be you and 5 friends, might be 3 couples, whatever you like. There'll be 6 of you, and you'll dine with Carius, Eddie Steele, the Duke, and Laddie Schmid. So did you know that in the 2000s, Ladislav Schmid has currently played the 3rd most games of any Oiler defenseman in the decade, or in the 21st century? One little I bet you Laddie didn't even know that. So I was looking up some stat and I came across that one. So Schmid, Steele, Carius, and Brandon Douglas. So there'll be 10 of you. Have a great in the private room at Chop Steakhouse. You can either do it at Ellerslie or downtown. They got private rooms at each one. They're fantastic. If there's one that's more convenient for you, that's where you host it. It's a 5-course dinner, wine pairings, your choice of beverages, everything's included. and you'll have a great time. We've done this in the past, and it's loads of fun. So there's no specific date. We always find a date that works for your party and Karis's party, and away you go. So that's package one, dinner at Chop with Steele and Schmid. Some great stories there from those guys. And package number two for all of our golf fans. Now, you can be a starter golfer. You can be a diehard. You can be somebody who's just looking to improve. Maybe take a few strokes off your game. Maybe take 50 strokes off your game. Courtesy of Fitted Golf. You get the Fitted Golf driver and evaluation fitting number one. Then you're going to get a brand new hand-built driver just for you. So after all your fitting, so they'll know everything. They're going to, your shaft, the strength, everything, your driver head, all that stuff is measured meticulously. This is like probably a 2-hour fitting, no joke. Okay, from start to finish. I know a few friends have done it and they rave about it. So you'll have that. You'll also, on top of it, get a $750 gift certificate towards new equipment or alterations of your existing equipment. Maybe, you want to change the stiffness of your shaft. Hi-yo. But either way, you can do that. And you will get a pro putter check and a full report on your current putting swing. Right? So you bring your putter and they go through all the evaluations because everybody knows drive for show. Putt for dough, baby. That's what you want. So if you are looking to improve your game, this could be a great Christmas gift for somebody that, ladies, gents, you got a real golf aficionado or somebody who's just trying to get in the game. My wife has gotten into golf the last 2 years. I set this up with her in the summertime, and she went in there and she raved about it. Now, she'd golfed a little bit before. All of a sudden, now she's golfing, and she quite enjoys it, hitting the ball quite well. So now it's pretty extensive, doing all the fittings. This is not one of those where you go get fitted for 10, 15 minutes because just no disrespect to those ones. It's not the same. So that's courtesy of Fitted Golf right here in Edmonton. You can check it out at fittedgolf.ca. So that's package number two. So package one's the dinner. Package two from Fitted Golf. If you love golfing, there you go. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, there was a lot of Slav Schmid sighting at the Grand Prairie Storm game Saturday night. Well, yeah, why not? Schmieder's man, he's a man about town. He's a man about town. Ladislav Schmid. So there you go. Mike is in at 500, and actually now Dale's in at 500 on both packages. So we're 500 on each. The dinner and, of course, the golf, and it'll go up from there. So, today, by the way, we're helping out the Christmas Bureau for the dinner and Santa's Anonymous for the golf. So 833-401-1440. Just so I like everybody to know where their donations going. And I'd like to remind you, in the month of giving, everything that we auction off is 100% donated. Okay. There's all the money raised goes directly because you'll get in contact. The charity will reach out to you and you're sending all your money there. So just so you know, it's 100% donations from all the companies, and away you go. Hey, Gregor, did you say the Oilers haven't won in 6 years? Yeah, that's right. Since 2019. But they won, because, I guess coming up on, it'll be, so it was 12 months in 20, 14 months in 21, 36 months in 22, 48 in 23, 60. They haven't won there in 70 months. In many. Lost their last 6 consecutive games. Ugly. So not officially 6 years, but 70 months. Yikes. And 6 straight in Minnesota. I have a good feeling, though, if you're for Oilers fans. Edmonton's playing really well right now. And trust me, as Leon Draisaitl said, this is really good. We believe we're one of the top teams, so now you get a chance to show it. You got Minnesota, Vegas, and Florida. They're not going to look past either one of those games. They're going to be ready for all of them, and away you go. Hey, Gregor, is the new guy playing tonight, Regula? No. He is, he just got into town. He hasn't played a game yet this season, right? He was injured. Boston sent him down to the minors, or at least tempted to, and Edmonton claimed Alex Regula on waivers. And Regula, as I mentioned, he has a connection to Edmonton. So Stan Bowman, Regula was a 3rd-round pick of the Detroit Red Wings in 2018 draft. And he was then traded to Chicago for Brendan Perlini, who would later on play for the Edmonton Oilers. And so Stan Bowman actually acquired him. Obviously knew him, liked him, acquired him. Then Bowman, of course, left Chicago. And the next summer, the Blackhawks acquired Taylor Hall from Boston. And in that trade, as part of the deal, was Alex Regula. He went to the Bruins. So Hall, Perlini, Bowman, all connected. And now Stan Bowman, obviously they knew, had a scouting report on him. He likes him. Here, I'll read you this scouting report because it's pretty in-depth. I thought it's pretty good. This is the scouting report I got on Regula because, to be honest, I've never seen him play live. Quote, he's very poised with the puck and makes plays. He's big, obviously, but he's not a bruiser. More of a skilled guy who has patience and can pass the puck. He doesn't just throw it away under pressure. If anything, he will sometimes hold it too much, always looking for the best play instead of just unloading it when under pressure. Having patience is a great quality to have. It's not that common to find a big right shot defender who has that willingness to find a better play and be patient with it and look for the best outlet. Last season in the AHL, he's one of the top plus-minus D-men and emerged as a PK guy for Providence. I used to see him more as a PP guy, but he's evolved and shown he can be on the penalty kill. Obviously, NHL is different than the AHL, but he's definitely got upside. So there you go. We shall see how he does. Not having played a game at all this year, I don't think you throw him in against Minnie. I don't think you throw him in against Vegas or Florida. But now maybe you just say, hey, kid, jump in, and we don't want you to sit around and practice too long. But you know what? You probably want to get him up to pace on a few NHL practices first, and then you can get him into the lineup. That would just be my guess on that. Because after they've got Florida, then they got Boston. Hey, could that be his first game with the Oilers against the Bruins next Thursday? Because they play Monday against Florida, so could see that. Who knows? Pill comes in at $550. Brian is in at 1,000 for the dinner, and we are off and running here in the month of giving. Hey, Gregor, if you plan on doing the drive challenge at next year's tournament, you should probably invest in one of those custom drivers. Maybe you can hit it straight and raise more money. From Sean. Well, if I hit it straighter, then I would raise less money, because anytime I lost, I had to match it. But straightness wasn't really my issue. It's more so the distance. I'm not that big off the tee. But hey, maybe I should get a new driver. Actually, I've thought about it because mine's like 10 years old. So I definitely done one. Hey guys, has Regula already done a conditioning stint? No, those conditioning stints are a guy like that who wasn't in the NHL the last year. It's kind of hard usually those guys don't get conditioning stints. Right? I think there's conditioning stint. I'm pretty sure there's a rule there that you have to be like a regular NHLer to qualify. Now I could be 100% wrong on that. I got to double check it, but I've always thought that. So like Yarventi, for instance, when the Oilers put him on, now he didn't need waivers, so maybe it's a little bit different, but he didn't go down. Hey guys, how many midseason waiver claim players have been on a Stanley Cup winning team? From Randy. It's a good question, Randy. Well, there's probably the odd one. No question. Hey guys, is it true Regula was Bouchard's D partner in London? For 1 year, yes. And Regula did play the left side when he played 1 year with Evan Bouchard. That's also true. So there is the connection, another Oilers connection. So teammates in London. Bouchard played right. Regula played left with him. I don't think that's going to happen in the NHL. Obviously not with Ekholm here anytime soon. Although, the Oilers' top pair, let's call a spade here. They've been on the ice for too many goals against here the last 6 weeks. Right? You want to see them limit that a little bit. They're both top 10 in the league, 5-on-5 goals against since November 1st. So you'd like to see a little reduction there. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. We got more bids here in the month of giving. We'll update you on those when we come back. Mike Russo. We'll talk about the Wild. No Eriksson Ek. I'll tell you where the Oilers have a big advantage tonight, down the middle. Because Marco Rossi, good young player, he's not Eriksson Ek. Eriksson Ek has been a very good matchup for Minnesota against McDavid. He's a really good two-way center. But he's out, so Marco Rossi's now playing with Kaprizov. And they've got Hartman playing center, and he's more of a natural winger. So we'll talk to Mike about that and more when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca.
New year, new you. Let's kickstart 2025 by making better life choices, starting with quality pizza from Papa John's. Right now, get 25% off any regular menu price pizza with promo code BETTER25. A deal so good, it might just count as self-care. With that ooey gooey, crispy, crunchy taste, fresh, never frozen dough, and quality toppings, Papa John's is a better choice than leftovers. But hurry, resolutions wait for no one. Offer ends January 5th. Order now at papajohns.com with promo code BETTER25. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some Papa John's.
Ain't it beautiful?
The inventory is unprecedented. Volvo Cars Edmonton is proud to boast an amazing selection of in-stock Volvo XC40s, 60s, and 90s. Visit Volvo Cars Edmonton today and experience the exemplary service you've come to expect and the affordable luxury only found with Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Experience the difference.
Volvo of Edmonton.
I've lost all power. The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
For half a century, that's 50 years, GS Construction has been building the foundation of Edmonton and the surrounding area's infrastructure. But let's make one thing clear. This milestone would never be achieved without the dedication of our incredible team. Together, we've built the underground infrastructure that keeps things running smoothly, from the existing to the new underground systems. It's 50 years of hard work the team has put in to make it all possible. Here's to another 50 years. For more on our team and our work, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta, new players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet every week all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right, because the HR lady said it's in humane conditions. But ho, 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 golly gee, Santa got a 1-year guarantee, and the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rent, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
For over 65 years, Denham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving for work and play. And that tradition continues with the final year-end 2024 clear-out. Enjoy low rates or thousands in year-end savings on every vehicle, including F-150, Bronco, and Super Duty. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. Denham Ford on Highway 2A in Wetaskiwin or at denhamford.ca.
Cars cost less in Wetaskiwin.
Hair Aware with Dr. Vance Elliott.
Hey, Dr. Vance, does a hair transplant have to look like a hair transplant? There's a guy at work, his is totally obvious.
My goal is to give every one of my patients a full natural-looking head of hair, so I stay up to date on the latest innovations. This is science and, more importantly, an art. I do things differently and move more hair than is normally done, resulting in a thicker look that is also more natural.
Trust a world-renowned expert in hair restoration. Book an appointment at drvanceelliott.com today.
It feels like the cost of everything has been going up and up and up. That's why Encore's electricity rates are getting really low. With our rates falling lower, you can feel carefree about your bill.
A low rate means lower stress.
Switch to a new fixed-rate electricity plan with Encore by Epcor and save.
Get the lowdown
and stay carefree at encore.epcor.com/lowdown. Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll free.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote. Sports 1440, Connor here.
Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. 2:20 on Sports 1440 Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Also, sports1440.ca. Thanks for playing. Patrick's dad came in at 500 on the golf, but now we have Kevin, who has 600 for the golf package and 1,200 for the dinner. Has them on both. So we'll rate it. Now, keep in mind, the golf package, you're getting the brand new driver and the fitting and the $750 GC. And you get the putter analysis, which is pretty significant for many of you. How many shots are you losing on the green, right? You get there in 2, you walk away with a bogey. It's the worst. And it's happened far too frequently for many of you. I know it has because I've been there. It's true. The green right now is like Minnesota for the Oilers. Very rarely is there a success there. Very rarely. As we get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton, they are Canada's #1 Volvo dealership, 13-time winner of Excellence Award in sales and service because they got great vehicles, but better service. They'll sell you a great car, and then they'll make sure that they always take care of you afterwards. Volvo Cars Edmonton.com, as we are joined by a longtime beat reporter for the Minnesota Wild, one of the best beat reporters in the league. If you're looking for good insight, Mike Russo joins us from The Athletic, covers the Wild. Mike, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Jay. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm a lot better than the Oilers when they go to Minnesota. They haven't won there in forever. Like 2019, they've lost 6 in a row. And I look at the lineup tonight, and the biggest break for the Oilers is no Joel Eriksson-Ek, because he has done a really good job. As much as you can contain McDavid, he's been one of the more successful guys. I know he doesn't do it on himself, but he plays a lot of it head-to-head. And he's out tonight. How do you think that changes the Wild's approach with Rossi and Hartman now having to go up at least at the center battle against McDavid and Draisaitl?
Yeah, and, well, I actually think the bigger issue is not having Brodin in the lineup. If you really look at the numbers, McDavid, I think he has his lowest points per game in the last 6 or 7 years against the Wild, and it's usually always with Brodin going head to head against them. He's one of the rare defensemen in the league that can skate with Brodin and or McDavid, and push him into uncomfortable areas, push him into corners, things like that, and make life difficult on him. So you don't have Brodin coupled with Eriksson-Ek, which would at home be the easy matchup. It really puts the Wild at a disadvantage tonight against both Draisaitl and McDavid. Obviously, the Oilers playing really well right now. I think they've won 6 of 7 since the Wild beat them about 2 or 3 weeks ago in Edmonton, and it's going to be really fascinating tonight how John Hynes handles this matchup, because, Rossi, they'd love, to have him play in the offensive zone with Boldy and Kaprizov. And so, I think that most likely it is going to have to be a Hartman-Goudreau combination, most likely Goudreau going up against that line. The question that I have is, who are the defensemen? Middleton, is it going to be Middleton and Faber? They've been unbelievable this season, but and as mobile as Middleton is, I don't think that he'd love to face Connor McDavid coming at him full stride. So it might have to be Chisholm and Spurgeon. Spurgeon's been absolutely awesome this season. Chisholm is not Jonas Brodin. He can skate really well, but he doesn't defend anywhere like Brodin. So it's going to be, that's, to your original question. I mean, that's going to be, to me, the key to tonight's game if the Wild can continue to have success against Edmonton is how does John Hines handle this, and can guys step up and defend really well?
When you look at this Wild start this season, they're getting contributions everywhere. Like obviously you've got an elite player in Kaprizov. Their goaltender's playing off the charts. You mentioned Faber and Middleton, and then guys down the middle of the lineup like this. I give Bill Guerin a lot of credit for this roster. I guess my question is, like, do you see it being like no one's going to win? I shouldn't say no one. It's rare to have a 750 points percentage all year long. It's hard to do. So they'll probably dip, but like how much? Like how good do you think the Wild are?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, I think without these, I think the biggest thing that has shocked me this season is that, they opened up with 10 of their first 15 on the road, 7 of their first 9, including a 7-game road trip. And they've gotten off to awful starts the last couple of years. And this year was the complete opposite. I mean, the first 7 or 8 games, they didn't even have a deficit. And even with Eric Sinek, Brodin, and Zuccarello out here, they just continue to win games. And so it's been really impressive to me. This is a real tough homestand that they start tonight. And so the good news is that the cavalry is coming back. Zuccarello and Brodin skated today. They look like they're getting closer to return. And so if they can get some healthy bodies back in the lineup, that's going to obviously bode well. I'm a little sheepish because, or a little skittish on how much to really think this team is elite, because the last time that they were the top team in the league, which was December 17th, Mike Yo's first year, way back in 2011, the Wild won 15 games the rest of the year. So we're talking mid-December, top team in the league, and they won 15 games the rest of the year. I think they're the only team in NHL history that were number 1 in the league this late in the season. And so there's a lot of season left. What has been good is that no matter the injuries this season, they keep on winning. Last year, it was the complete opposite. Obviously, chief and foremost was losing Jared Spurgeon last year. Never healthy, got hurt his last exhibition game, hurt his shoulder, came back, and then had the back and hip issues that eventually needed surgery. This year, he missed a little part at the beginning of the year when he was feeling soreness and stiffness and things like that. But to me, the biggest change this year that has allowed them to be good is they've got a really quality top 4. And a lot of that is because Jared Spurgeon's back in the lineup. This guy's 35 years old. He's forever, everybody says he's undersized, yet he's just been, to me, the best defenseman in this franchise's history. And he just continues to just play at a high level, no matter his age, no matter his injury woes in the past. And having Spurgeon back in the lineup, to me, has just done wonders for this franchise. They are the best defensive team in the league, 5-on-5, and a lot of that is because he is in there. And it's really protected Philip Gustafson very, very well this year, and then it allows Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy to do their thing offensively.
You look at since Bill Guerin's taken over that organization, Mike, he's definitely not been afraid to make some moves. Jake Middleton and Brock Faber specifically, like, my goodness, like those 2 deals have been massive. And then, you know what? I had mentioned it a week before. I said, don't rule out Bill Guerin on Jurasek. I won't be surprised at all if he jumps in on him, because he's not afraid. He's not afraid. If they like someone, their scouting staff likes him, and their evaluation recently of defensemen has been top notch. So I can understand why they do it. What's your thoughts on the Jurasek trade, and how long do you think before he's up in Minnesota?
Yeah, I think he'll need 2 or 3 weeks at least down in the minors. I think that's the goal. It was really interesting is that originally when I started to hear that they were really going hard after Juracek, the one thing that the organization sources have told me is that he would immediately start in Iowa. And I remember talking to people close to Juracek, and I just said, are you guys going to be okay with that? Because obviously that was not something they were happy with in Columbus. And they said, absolutely. They got to, they understood that Juracek had to start get playing. So they make the acquisition. They obviously send 4 draft picks, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and a prospect to Columbus. I think a lot of people were shocked at the price, but in the Wild's mind, it was time to start making those type of moves and really plan for maybe a Faber Juracek top 4 on the right side for a decade. And so they bring him here, and instead of sending him to Iowa right away, they have him up, but they don't play him. And I think the key to that was the team's going on a road trip. They wanted him to, meet the players, get to know his teammates, travel with the guys, most importantly, work with the coaches, see how everything operates. And then once they got back from the road trip, send him down to Iowa and get him playing. And so he's only played 11 games this year, 5 of them in the AHL. So they've got to get him up to speed. I think that the key is, obviously injuries are going to rule the roost because right now trading Damon Hunt has really put their depth in a bit of an issue. Luckily, they're getting Brodeen back. But I think if they can keep him down there for 3 or 4 weeks at least, get him playing at a high level, feeling confident, I think they'd love to get him up here. But that trade, to your point, Jason, even though the Wild gave up a lot, that really wasn't for the now. It was an investment into the future. I think Juracek just has to understand that and be patient and be willing to, bide his time, even though he might not want to be in Iowa for long term. He's going to have to understand that this team is playing extremely well. Their defense has played really well. And as long as they're healthy, John Hines' mandate is to win and not all of a sudden experiment with 21-year-old defensemen that are, trying to find their way still in the league.
100%. And you know what? If he plays in the minors for this extra year, it's not going to kill them. I don't know any player in the history of the league who got worse by playing more minutes and gaining confidence in the American League. I've never bought into that.
And to your point, Jason, that is Bill Guerin's way. He came up in the New Jersey system, and Lou Lamoriello's belief and philosophy was to bait guys in the minors and then bring them up when they were ready to play, and that is what did Bill Guerin's history here, sometimes to the impatience of Wild fans. I mean, the Wild fans wanted to see Marco Rossi here immediately, and Bill didn't think he was ready. He put him down there a long time, and now look at Marco Rossi. He's one of their best players, and just looks like he's just continuing to ascend to being a really quality NHL player, NHL center. So I think that's just been Bill's way. And so for him to make this trade, he needed to have communication with Alan Walsh and make sure that Alan was going to understand that look, he's not going to be getting top power play and top minutes right away. He's going to need to play in the minors and to get his career a fresh start. I think that Juracek and his camp were very, very, open to that.
Mike Russo joins us from The Athletic, talking to Oilers. They are in Minnesota where they haven't won in their last 6 games. The last victory came in February of 2019. But, hey, eventually maybe you'd think they could get a win. Mike, I want to quickly ask you about some other teams in the Central. The Winnipeg Jets, obviously the greatest start in NHL history. They've come back down to earth a little bit. But you look at the Jets, you look at the Stars, you look at the Avs, you look at the Wild. It's 4 pretty good teams. Excluding the Wild, which of those other 3 do you think is the toughest matchup? If we looked ahead to the playoffs, who would be the worst matchup for the Wild? And then maybe on the other side, who do you think would be the best?
Probably Dallas. I mean, the Wild never beat Dallas and usually get their, handed to them. It really, not just this past, playoffs. It's the one back in, I think it was 2018 or 2017 when John Torchetti was coaching them, where it just maybe even earlier, where that one, it just felt like from that point on, the Wild were just, pretty much had to roll over to the Dallas Stars every single matchup. It's been ugly. They played them earlier this season. They did lose, but they were much more competitive. The Wild just seemingly just do not match up against them. Ottinger has just been unbelievable in this building. The Wild very rarely win in Dallas. So I don't think that, to get to your question, are the Wild for real? That's where Wild fans are always going to be skeptical, because the way that the NHL playoffs are formatted, I mean, the Wild every single year are going to run up against those 3 teams. And in the last 13 games against those teams, I believe the Wild are 1-11-2, something as ugly as that. They just do not play well against those 3 teams. Colorado would probably be the easiest right now. I think that we haven't seen them yet. But it'll be interesting how the Wild do against them. I have not been impressed pretty much every time I watch Colorado. Obviously, they got the big 3, but other than that, they don't have a ton of depth, and maybe Blackwood will stabilize them in net. And Winnipeg, they haven't played well against either. So those 3 teams are super elite, but I think Dallas is the team to beat still in the Western Conference. I think from top to bottom, from in goal on out, they are as good as it gets.
Mike Russo joins us. Yeah, well, their goaltending is great. Now, speaking of goaltending, you look at Gustafsson. He's having an unreal year. And I know Frank Saravalli and I was wondering, well, what about, their contracts and stuff? I said, hey, goaltending is the most volatile position from year to year. Like, I'm sure if you're Gustafsson, you'd wish this was the year you were penning UFA, not a year in it from now, because honestly, a year from now, you might have a 902, right? It's so volatile. There's no rush to sign him. Him and Wallstedt, like, it seems like it's rare to have like a smooth transition to goal, but it seems like they will. And Where do you make of, the rumblings in the summer where the Wild were considering trading Gustafsson? Was that actually true? And is this one of the cases, if it was, where the best trades you make are some that you don't make?
Yeah, it was 100% true. Bill Guerin was definitely shopping him around, didn't get what he liked or nobody fit, one of the two or both. And now he's here. And as you said, can you imagine if he was somewhere else right now where this team would be? To your point on volatility, 2 years ago, he had the second best save percentage and goals against average in the NHL behind Allmark, who won the Vezina. Last year, he was terrible, absolutely awful. And this year, he came into camp much better shape. And just, I think that he just feels a lot more at ease. Last year, and sometimes as beat writers, we don't really consider off the ice stuff. But, he's a father for the first time. He is dealing with the pressure of being the guy for the first time. So I think he got a little, literally and figuratively fat and happy. And now he's come in and he's just looked a lot more at ease. The other thing last year is that the Wild's lineup was in shambles all year long because of injuries. And even though the analytics show that the Wild defended well, there was not a lot of trust between Gustafsson and the defenders in front of him. And that eventually gets to your goalies. He's done a great job with Freddie Chabot, playing a lot more conservative here. You'll see tonight he's been deeper in his net. He always seems to bounce back from tough games. Last game in Utah, the Wild wound up pulling out the 2 points, but he was not very good. So it'll be interesting how he is tonight. He's playing superbly right now. Then you have Volstad, who thought he was going to be in the NHL, didn't handle it mentally very well when they sent him to the AHL, has struggled all year in the AHL. Last night, he did have a shutout, and they got to get his track. But, now Bill Guerin's going to have a choice to make next season. He's going to come back with this Gustafsson Volstad tandem. And then, it'll be interesting what he does past that, because they are going to have to make a long-term decision on Philip Gustafsson, who's only going to be 27 years old. But they just signed, Volstad to the extension for a one-way deal.
Yes.
So it's just going to be really interesting how the Wild handle it. Hopefully Volstad can get his game together down in the minors. I believe in him as a goalie. He's got a ton of talent. I know Oilers fans, every time I even mention anything positive about him, I hear from them because they're upset that the Oilers didn't take him. In fact, actually made the trade, right?
Yeah.
The Wild to get Volstad. So it'll be fascinating how the Wild handle it. But right now with Gustafsson here, he has just been tremendous. And Fleury's been good in his 7 or 8 starts, only has 1 regulation loss.
Speaking of Fleury, is there any chance he plays next year?
So I was talking to Alan Walsh last week, and and Alan made the joke, should I put out a tweet? He asked Mark, should I put out a tweet saying that you're coming back? And it just is some big practical joke. And Mark's like, do not do that. So I don't think so, but I will tell you, the one thing when I look at Fleury right now and how much he loves the game is that he's really settled into understanding that this has to be his role, where he just, especially with Gustafsson playing well, that he is going to have to play once a week, once every week and a half.
Yeah.
And if you're getting that little, the shape that he keeps himself in, if you're getting that little output, he could play, and he could play for even, 2 or 3 more years. I don't think he'd want to. Right. I think he's made it extremely clear this is it. Would it shock me if he all of a sudden had second thoughts? Not at all, for somebody that loves the game like him. He is an absolute treasure to be around. It's been a true honor covering him. He is truly one of the great gentlemen that I've ever covered. Absolutely, the guys in that locker room love him. A lot of his incredible accolades the last 3 years have come in a Wild uniform, which I know players and teammates are proud of. So if all of a sudden he did, Wallstat wasn't very good the rest of the year, and he all of a sudden said to Bill Guerin, I'm thinking to come back, it wouldn't shock me. But, I asked Mark again very recently if this is it. He says it is. So we'll see. A lot of season to be played.
I have to think for sure the Wild are going to guarantee he starts at least 13 more games, right? So he finishes ahead of Luongo when Ron games started.
Yeah, and I've got to think so. They've got a ton of games coming up. Yeah. The one thing, as tough as their schedule has been the first 2.5 months, they've had a lot of off days. Very few back-to-backs. Even that 7-game road trip, they didn't have a back-to-back in there. It's going to catch up to them. They're going to pay for their schedule. And so there's a ton of games coming up. He's going to get a lot of it, a lot of action still. So they'll make sure, as long as he's healthy, that he gets 13 more.
Mike, as always, man, great to catch up with you. Enjoy the game tonight. Should be a good one.
Yep. See you, Jason.
You betcha. There's Mike Russo, longtime beat reporter in the NHL, started in Florida, of course, now covering the Minnesota Wild. Does a fantastic job, man. Russo's tapped in for sure. 240, we'll update you on our month of giving. Got two great options for those of you who like food and company, and those of you who want to improve your golf game. You're always looking to improve it. Your driver, your putter, everything in between. You'll do that with Fitted Golf. Coming up next, we'll update you on that. We'll talk some basketball. Also, Bill Belichick going to NCAA. Is this a good move? Honestly, we'll discuss that as well. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
New year, new you. Let's kickstart 2025 by making better life choices, starting with quality pizza from Papa John's. Right now, get 25% off any regular menu price pizza with promo code BETTER25. A deal so good, it might just count as self-care. With that ooey gooey, crispy, crunchy taste, fresh, never frozen dough, and quality toppings, Papa John's is a better choice than leftovers. But hurry, resolutions wait for no one. Offer ends January 5th. Order now at papajohns.com with promo code BETTER25. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some Papa John's.
Santa sweat, dripping on the tree. Due to that new furnace that you got from Legacy.
Legacy Heating and Cooling wants to help you prepare for Santa. A nice warm stop during the cold night is the gift you give him. And Legacy can help with no payments and no interest for 1 year on your festive new furnace. Because warm homes get better presents. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Everybody now, Santa sweat. This ad's really weird. Santa perspiration.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Edmonton Oil Kings Superhero Night at Rogers Place.
This Saturday night, Edmonton's mightiest heroes, your Oil Kings, go toe-to-toe with the Swift Current Broncos.
Fans are encouraged to come dressed up as your superhero of choice.
Meet your favorite superheroes on the concourse during the game for the ultimate selfie. Plus, at every home game, score Calmont Kids Food Combos for $10 or less.
Family fun that's second to none. Oil Kings v. Broncos.
7 p.m. Saturday. Great family entertainment at Rogers Place starts at just $20 a seat. Save on day-of-game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Centre's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Better holidays start with better ingredients. Papa John's. You can get 25% off any regular price pizza with the code word BETTER25 at papajohns.ca.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:45. Welcome back, Gregor. Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Dale came in at $750 on the golf package. Well, that'll cover the GC. Well, that's good, but that's okay. Hey, we all got to build it up a little bit, so we're up to $750 there. Also at $1,400 on the dinner package. So moving on up nicely. It's early. That's good. But remember today, just so you know, we end the auction at 5:30 today. So if you want to get in now. Hey, maybe scare somebody off. Make a big raise. 833-401-1440. We'll update you on the packages. After we talk a little Hoop Report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with the no payments, no interest for 1 full year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. As Paul Sir joins us once again. Paul, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Doing great. But Jason, I think you're too young. The previous song that Connor just played back in the 70s, you didn't go to the show. You had to disco down and go to the show.
There you go.
Vernacular just continues to evolve.
Disco down. Really?
Disco down and check out the show.
You're just
one of the great one-hit wonders of the 70s.
You're just wheeling in there when you're with your bell bottoms, right? And shiny shirts. Did they have bell bottoms in Iowa?
Oh, you know what? I was the first guy to wear bell bottoms in my high school. I was the trendsetter.
Oh, nice. How tall were you then? Like, were you 6'3" at that time?
I was 6'3" in grade 9 and then got to about 6'5" in grade 11. So, yeah, tall, skinny, drink of water.
Paul, now I know some people don't like it, and that's fine. I get it. But what do you make of the in-season little kind of tournament they do in the NBA?
In year 2, Jason, I've really grown to like it. I don't say I love it, but I sure don't mind it. And honestly, I really do. I do like it because now it has created some opportunities and some excitement, and it also seems to help teams refocus as they look at this as more of we got to win this. It almost has an NCAA feel to it, like the March Madness, especially when you get into the quarters. So now it's one and done, and it means something. And when you look at how the Milwaukee Bucks, for instance, and the Atlanta Hawks have really found their rhythm at this time, and I've read a couple of interviews, and both teams seem to think that there's some credit that has to be given to the fact that they're playing for something in the Emirates NBA Cup.
Well, you look at it and you see Steve Kerr and the, you know what, basically the Warriors got knocked out with that foul on Jalen Green on the loose ball, right? They dove for the loose ball and drew a foul from Kuminga. And Steve Kerr was wild after that game for that. So clearly, you know, it even means something a little bit to the players. Like you're always looking for ways to make competition. And in season, it's like, here we go. We wanted to get to the semifinal, and now they're out.
Totally agree. And that was a terrible call. And it's rare to see Kerr that free flowing and that animated with his direct, soon to be fined criticism of the officials. But there's a problem with his argument. And that is a 36-year-old Hall of Famer named Steph Curry reverted back to the 21-year-old Steph Curry that we used to see take outrageous and poorly thought out shots.
Yeah.
He did not have to take that shot.
You're right.
It made no sense. He had 10 seconds left on the shot clock. It was one of the most I played a game my junior year in college, and I took a shot of that ilk, just completely unnecessary. Next day we had film, and my assistant coach said, whoever takes a shot like that got to be an ass. And that's because when you take a shot like that, it just doesn't make any sense, and it creates that kind of scenario that if it doesn't go in, they would have had to follow him if Curry just would have hung on to the ball.
Yes.
So it was a great last 15 seconds of basketball for the drama of an ill thought out shot, and then a ridiculously bad call by the official.
Well, Sir Jones, Paul, we're now into, the 25 game mark of the season, coming up on a third, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are still best team. They're 21-4. OKC in the West, 19-5. And I think a lot of us expected them to be good, but the Rockets, I think, and the Cavs are probably easily the two biggest surprises. Of those two, which one are you more of a believer in?
Well, that's a great question. That really is, because I think the Rockets, they win on defense and grit, and the Cavaliers, though, have more consistent offensive firepower. So it really makes for an interesting choice. I think one of the things the Cavaliers have, though, is an slowly emerging Mobley at the 4 spot. Like, he had 41 one night, but then the next night I think he had 7. He's still all over the place. But when you have Garland and Mitchell as your backcourt, and now you've got a guy like Mobley who's capable on a given night to step up and put up big numbers, I think I would, if I had to choose between the two right now, I would go who's going to go further in the playoffs. I'll kind of frame it like that. I would go with the Cavaliers because of their firepower.
Okay. The Raptors kind of are who we thought they would be. They're second last in the West. In the East, Washington, Utah, and New Orleans are below them in the standings. So unless something drastically changed, they're going to have a decently high pick. But in all of their losing, there are some guys that are playing decently well overall. Whose game have you liked the most for the Raptors this year?
Well, until he got hurt, I really liked the direction Grady Dick was taking, with his game. Like, he looks like he legitimately could be a very, very good long-term NBA player. But I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, the frustration the Raptors have with these injuries to Quickly, and now Scotty Barnes again. He can't just roll an ankle; he has to really roll an ankle.
Yeah.
But always, what happens in situations like this is players now, have to be relied on. And with the Raptors, yeah, we're seeing some promise, but here's a problem with it. Haven't we seen this before? Promise. What does that? What does that really mean? Are these guys really going to be able to help make them better, or will we find out how good the Raptors can potentially be when they get they're going to have to get their best players back, and those players are going to have to learn how to play together. I think they played about 5 minutes together, Barrett, Quickly, and Barnes, and you just having nice role players is great. Having guys have the opportunity to make a way for themselves in the NBA is great. They're just not the guys. It's, similar to the Oilers. If McDavid and Draisaitl get hurt, then other guys are going to step up and have occasional good games. But that's no way to build a team. And these parts are all replaceable. Till they get their studs back, get a good pick, and maybe make a couple of other moves, the Raptors won't be relevant.
But they shouldn't make any moves this year. Like, just play it out, get a top pick, and move on, correct?
Totally agree with you. Like, what can they move with and for with what they presently have, unless they trade away one of the real good pieces that they either drafted or traded for. So I agree with you. It would be nice to see this team healthy. It's amazing in the modern era. I was just looking at John Stockton's stats. They were comparing his durability, and he played, I think it was 20 seasons, and I think 18 of them he played all 82 games. There's so many injuries that just take players out for long periods of time. And the Raptors certainly have been a victim of that. And until everybody gets healthy and can stay healthy, we won't know what we've got in Toronto.
WNBA, is there enough talent as they expand?
I think there's enough talent. There's only a few superstars. I think the WNBA is probably like the NBA in the 60s, where the superstars were so much better than the rank and file Certainly the WNBA today is much different in terms of talent, the floor level of talent, Jason, than they were even 5 years ago. And now with emerging, superstars like, of course, Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson. I mean, these are phenomenal players, but there still are big gaps in the WNBA. So they can be respectable. Whether or not they will be watchable remains to be seen. But I don't think they should expand much further until they keep building up a bigger, stronger, deeper talent pool.
Yes,
that will make the game more fun consistently to watch. So you just don't have to rely on Caitlin Clark being on TV or in your city to fill the arenas.
Yeah, no, and that's a valid point, right? I think that to me is the key. Like, make it so when you do have expansion, that you're overbursting, right? Where all of a sudden now there's people getting cut from teams or on benches, and the depth of 6 and 7 in a lot of these teams is good enough, and that was my question. If they have enough of it, right? Because
I think it's a fair question. I mean, when you look at, I hope I don't stick my foot completely down my throat, but when Las Vegas came into the NHL, they became good right away.
Well, yes.
And that's not going to happen in the WNBA. I don't think. I'd be shocked if it did. I'd be shocked if that happened in the NBA. So I totally agree with you that, okay, now it's in Toronto. I think that was a statement they wanted to make. They wanted to go international.
Yeah, makes sense.
I wish it does. It does. I wish they would have gone a little different direction with the name, but hey, what's in a name? The main thing will be, can they get enough talent that will be compelling enough to want to watch the game night in and night out? And I think Toronto will be a real good market for that.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Paul, great stuff, man. Really appreciate it. Have yourself an awesome day.
You too, Jason. Thanks so much.
There you go. That's Paul Sir talking hoops with us here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. I will update you a month of giving. Decent first hour. We have 2 packages today. We're helping out Christmas Bureau, Santa's Anonymous. Package number 1, which is currently at $1,400. It's really good bargain. It's there'll be you and 5 friends. So dinner for 6. Whether it's 3 couples, whatever you like. And you're going to dine at the Chop Steakhouse, either in Ellerslie or downtown in the private room. And it includes 5-course dinner with your choice of beverages, wine pairings, great food, dessert, of course, unreal. And you'll have Laddie Schmid, Eddie Steele, Kevin Karras, Brandon Douglas, boys from the morning show that will be there with you throughout the night. You'll have loads of fun. So, and great food and lots of laughs, lots of stories. Schmieder's actually a really good storyteller. Don't tell him I told you that. Same with Eddie Steele. So those two together, trust me, there won't be many quiet times during dinner. And you're in the private room in either one, so you can get boisterous and get loud. You have loads of fun. So 833-401-1440. That's at 1,400. And our golf package is up to $750, which is still under half, but still, it's from Fitted Golf. This is a great package for the golfers. So you're going to get the Fitted Golf. They do the driver and evaluation fitting first. Then they're going to custom build the driver for you from all the data. Now, this fitting, I'm telling you up front, it's about 2 hours. They go through all sorts of data points to ensure that they're going to get the right one. The shiftness of your staff, the club head side, everything, right? You want the degree, 9.5, 9, 10, whatever it is, right? They go through all of that. Then you'll get on top of it a $750 GC towards any other new equipment or alterations of your existing equipment. And you will get the Pro Putter Check. And then you get the full report on your current putter swing. Is it the right putter for you? Is it weighted properly? All that thing. Because, hey, how many of you don't want a 3-putt? It's the worst. Right? You want to keep missing. You know what? Every now and then you get, I'm putting for birdie. And the next thing you know, you're putting for bogey. It's the worst. Where are we at, Cons?
Well, Kevin, he's playing to win today. He came in at the dinner for $1,500.
Okay.
And then the golf up to $1,100.
Ooh, $1,100 and $1,500. Now we're rolling. Big KK. All right. That's on. Kerry's bidding on his own package here. No, I'm kidding. It's not Kev. But so Kevin's at, don't let him bully you guys. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. 15 for dinner, 1,100 for the golf here on Sports 1440. Terry Ryan will join us next. We also have Wyshynski, Speck, Nick Hamilton will talk a little NFL later on, Ryan's rant. We'll also hear from Chris Knobloch because the Oilers are in Minnesota, trying to win for the first time in 7 games. They've lost 6 in a row. They haven't won since February 7th. Ty Ratty scored the game winner. That's how long ago it was. Can the Oilers end that tonight? Good news. No Brodin, no Eriksson Ek. 2 of Minnesota's better defenders out with injury. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. And this holiday season, give the gift of Booster Juice. You can buy a $30 GC, and with that, you'll get a free regular size smoothie for yourself. So you give and receive at the same time. Download the Boosters Reward app today at Booster Juice.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers replaced defenseman Travis Stern on waivers. The move comes one day after the organization claimed Alec Regula off waivers from the Boston Bruins. The Oilers in action tonight, of course, taking on the Minnesota Wild. Puck drop 6:30. We've got pregame coverage with you here on Sports 1440 with Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, and Donovan Paulson, getting going at 5:30. Some other news off the ice today. Ducks forward Trevor Zegras expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks after undergoing surgery on his knee. On the ice, you got the Golden Knights taking on the Jets, Lightning and the Flames. Avs host Utah. Panthers taking on the Canucks. Kraken welcome the Bruins to Seattle. The Jackets host the Caps. Red Wings in Philadelphia. Devils host the Kings, Penguins, and the Canadians. And the Leafs up against those Anaheim Ducks. Week 15 in the NFL will kick off tonight with an NFC West battle as the 6-7 Niners hosting the 7-6 Los Angeles Rams. Kickoff 6:15 from Santa Clara in the association. 3 games tonight. The Raptors travel to Miami, taking on the Heat. Tip-off 5:30. Also at 5:30, the Celtics hosting the Pistons. Then at 6 o'clock, the Kings in New Orleans to battle the Pelicans. And in the AJ, Fort Macko Strumheller Fountain gets going at 7:30 out at Centerfire Place. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by our co-host and former NHLer Terry Ryan. Also, we'll hear from ESPN's Craig Wyshynski. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
New year, new you. Let's kickstart 2025 by making better life choices, starting with quality pizza from Papa John's. Right now, get 25% off any regular menu price pizza with promo code BETTER25. A deal so good, it might just count as self-care. With that ooey gooey, crispy, crunchy taste, fresh, never frozen dough, and quality toppings, Papa John's is a better choice than leftovers. But hurry, resolutions wait for no one. Offer ends January 5th. Order now at papajohns.com with promo code BETTER25. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some Papa John's.
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 furnace service company for the holidays because we don't charge overtime rates, including 24/7 emergency. Oh, I need service, please, Santa. Tell me your price. My furnace is naughty. Would you please make it nice? No, I can't wait to find it under my tree. Please send me service from Legacy. No overtime or emergency rates during the holidays or ever. That's how you service your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Kids get in free all season long. Can you believe it? Looking for an enjoyable and affordable family night out? The Spruce Grove Saints are excited to introduce their Kids Get In Free program. All kids 12 and under receive free admission for every Saints home game this season. Bring the entire family for action-packed junior hockey at a fraction of the cost. For more information, check out sgsaints.ca.
I'm making my list, checking it twice. And guess what? I'm giving Will Hawk beef jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Will Hawking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky.
Ho, ho, ho!
Call to place your pre-order today at 780-986-2537.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area. Prices exclude delivery.
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
It feels like the cost of everything has been going up and up and up.
That's why Encore's electricity rates are getting really low.
With our rates falling lower, you can feel carefree about your bill.
A low rate means lower stress.
Switch to a new fixed-rate electricity plan with Encore by Epcor and save.
Get the lowdown
and stay carefree at encore.epcor.com/lowdown.
Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll-free.
Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $10,104 off select 2024 Sierra 2500 AT4 models. Make loading easier than ever with the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Make hauling easier than ever with up to 14 available camera views, including transparent trailer view. And make finding tunes easier than ever with a class-leading 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen. Yeah, let's get to work. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EUL. EUL.ca is your power play partner with a new website that puts the power in your hands with 24/7 ordering and shipping within Edmonton and across Alberta. You can score an account today at EWEL.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.308, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Welcome back to the show. You can always text us 833-401-1440 in our inbox. And it's Thursday. You know what that means. Daily Grand at playalberta.ca. Get in, have some fun, and you could win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. $7.2 million. Nice. Also, 10 million tomorrow is a lot of max. You can get your tickets at playalberta.ca. Also, a busy night if you're looking for some action in the NHL. 14 games, including the Oilers in Minnesota, to take on the Wild, where they have not won since February 7th, 2019. Zach Kassian had 2 points. Ty Ratty had the game winner, for goodness sakes. So it's been a while. Our month of giving items, you heard it, we're at $1,500 on our dinner. It's you and 5 friends, so 6 of you will dine with a 5-course meal, wine pairings, all your beverages included in the private room at Chop Steakhouse, either Ellerslie or downtown, whichever more convenient for you. And you'll have 4 guests dining with you: Kevin Carius, Eddie Steele, Laddie Schmid, Brandon Douglas from the Sports 1440 morning show. So you will have loads of fun with those hooligans. I'll tell you that. Lots of chirps. It might be hard eating because there'll be lots of laughs and lots of chirps all night long. You'll have a great time. And so that's currently at $1,500. And improve your golf game with Fitted Golf. It's where you get the Fitted Golf driver and evaluation fitting. Then they'll have a brand new Wishon hand-built driver. They do it, and it is unreal. You're going to go when I say an evaluation and driver fitting, it's like 2 hours. They go through so many touch points to ensure that it's the right one. You also get a $750 gift certificate towards any other new equipment you want. Maybe you want to get some of your current stuff just fitted better. You can do that. And you'll get the Pro Putter Check. and a full report of your current putter swing. All right. Check it out. It's currently that's at 1,100 right now. So rocking and rolling. Let's bring in from Shoresy, two-time author, former NHLer, Terry Ryan, joins us as Eddie's up to 1,300 on the golf now as well. There we go. TR, how you doing?
Not bad. It's a nice evening. It was 15 degrees here today. Honestly, I was out in a t-shirt. It's wild. Yeah, really wild. Half of Penny Lane School was there in shorts.
And, well, you guys had like rain for a month though, didn't you? Like September, October?
Yeah, it's always unpredictable, but not usually. I mean, we don't get it as cold as out there like people think. We get snow and we get lots of precipitation. Normally it comes after Christmas, but I mean, this is wild. I mean, it was sunny today. It felt like it was at least spring, if not a day in late August.
Oh, geez. Nice. You out rollerblading?
I love how that popped into your head. I don't rollerblade much anymore. I take my bike out though. I had my today is extremely busy, but I dropped Penny Lane off at school at about 7:45, and I did go for a bike ride for about a half hour, clear my head.
TR, you played on some good teams over the years. Were you ever on a good team where you was just one place you went and you couldn't win? Like the Oilers have been a good team now for 5 years. They can't win in Minnesota.
I just looked at that stat. I couldn't believe it. Minnesota, who are better than mediocre, but I don't know. They don't have the history that I would think they're like an unbeatable team. I guess sometimes it's mental. Yeah, I mean, it's happened. I remember in junior, I mean, certain teams, I'm going to say other than Kamloops, because they were unbelievable. Just to beat them on any occasion was good. Was a good thing. But, there was a team in our back then, Prince George Cougars during my tenure weren't very good, but for some reason we never won there. It becomes mental. It just becomes, like anybody who's in a slump and squeezing the stick, and it just is like, oh my God, you could have an empty net and you just know that the goalie's going to come out of nowhere. And, and you start to squeeze it a bit, and it does happen. Teams gets in their head, something, if you were to mention that stat to a lot of the Oilers, I don't think it matters, but for some reason it stays up there. And yeah, you can't put your finger on it a lot of the time, but it happens. And there's crazier stats, although being who the Oilers are and who the Wild have been for the last 6 years, I'm really surprised at that stat.
Yeah, it's an odd one, no question. We'll see if they can break now. No Brodin, no Eriksson Ek. And Brodin, like McDavid's lowest points per game against any team in the NHL the last 6 years is against Minnesota. So
wild.
And Brodin, an excellent mobile defense. He doesn't check you physically. Right? He uses angles and stick and speed, and he has some pretty good success. Eriksson at same time, I think, helps out down the middle. And, then there's maybe a confidence issue or whatever, just not feeling great against Minnie, who knows. But neither one of those guys are playing tonight. And if I ever look at it and say, if there's a time where McDavid might have a big game, might be tonight against Minnie, which is very rare to happen.
Yeah, well, you notice when the guys that are better than average, let's say defensively, especially if they're great defensively, you notice that. And it's not always in what they do. I can speak to you from every league I've played in as a forward. Half the game is having the puck and looking up and seeing two defensemen there. Yeah. And I just often wouldn't go. You got to pick one side or the other, and just if I could do anything about it, I would, sometimes it's subconscious, but who's out there, and you tend to go towards the area that you're not given the most tension. That's just the way it goes. And like I said, a lot of times it's subconscious. But when someone gets in your head, or a team gets in your head, or a deep pairing or a forward line that's put out again, it starts to be, you defeat your own self in your head. But it's also, you start consciously avoiding those players. So they're doing a good job defensively, not even having to do anything, right? And that becomes something that snowballs. So it's surprising to me from the fact that it's Minnesota and the Oilers. You would think at some point they would have beaten that door down. Like you said, tonight, if they're going to be opportunistic with those two guys out tonight, I mean, Minnesota still has a squad, but you strike when the iron's hot. The Oilers are playing well, and those guys are a little bit damaged. So who knows?
Yeah, and just for the record, like he does have 5 points in the 6 games in Minnesota, so it's not like they're stuffing him. And the last few meetings in Edmonton, that's funny enough, the last 3 meetings have been in Edmonton, one this year, and then the late last year, the last 2. He does have 5 points in those games in Edmonton. But in Minnesota, they've done a better job. Maybe it's last change, has something to do with it. Get the matchup you want more. We'll see. But the Oilers are rolling right now. Since they lost to Mini, they're 6-1. They haven't given up very many goals. Their penalty kill is great. Their power play is good. They're getting a few other guys that are scoring. McDavid and Draisaitl obviously are doing their thing. Darnell Nurse has been unreal for Edmonton. And Leon Draisaitl talked about it, Terry, how he was excited their next 3 games. Mini, Vegas, Florida, all division leaders. Because they're all good teams. We think we're a good team. We're one of those teams. I know it's regular season, but I do think there are games where this isn't a rivalry game, but it's an opportunity to test yourself against one of the top teams. And I think when you're the Oilers, who feel they're a top team, I just kind of sense they might have a little bit more juice tonight.
Yeah, I love that they're going at it proactively, and Draisaitl said that. Like some people, you might think it, you might not say it, or you might be rather, what are we, 30 games in? God, it just seems like one night leads into another. Oh, 3 great teams. Oh, God, and you get interviewed, you just won't allude to it. But I'm happy he says that. One of the things that I love about him is that he's a battler. He plays with passion. Sometimes it shows, and sometimes he might be a little bit too vocal, or optically it might not look great. He slams stick against the boards here and there, but I don't mind it. I think he's passionate. He's got a goal, and he absolutely thrives on competition. The harder it is, it seems the better he plays. And those players, man, they're just. I don't want to use the word underrated, but that attribute is underrated. And you just see, I would just love it if I was a fan base or a GM owner looking at one of my better players, one of the best players in the world, say those words. It's just like, I want to play. Meanwhile, you get players in other sports, let's say basketball, that load management. Maybe I don't. Those are 3 tough games. Maybe I should take 2 of them off. I just can't believe I'm saying those words, but it happens in other sports. And here we got a guy, 82-game schedule, just played right to game 7, and plays hard, plays injured, and he's welcoming hard competition over 3 games. I think it's such a rare attribute in today's superstar world of silver spoons and, athletes that are overpaid. It's just awesome to hear that.
I look at at some other things around the league last night, and you see Buffalo lose again. They just can't get out of their own way, Terry. And they're a lot closer there. They've lost the playoffs, missed the playoffs 13 years in a row. Excuse me. At home, their fans are booing them twice last night. Like the players almost look like they play tighter at home than they do on the road, and the record shows it. Even though the players haven't been there for all 13 years, the losing, you feel it. And I wonder how, outside of finally making the playoffs, how can you block that out during the season?
It's tough. Just think right now, if you were on any team in the league, let's say a better half, right? Half the team makes the playoffs. Say you're I don't know, any random team that's in the playoffs, and you get traded there. I know there's an immediate blanket. There's a cloud of negativity around you just because you're aware that for 13 years in a row, and how many times. It's one thing to have that. I mean, that's a crazy stat, but in a sport with so much parity too, right? It's not like someone in your division just keeps buying players. There's no salary cap. You've got every chance, and you've picked big time players, and other teams that you're looking at that you're playing every night have at least Pittsburgh are not a great team right now, although right now they're probably not going to make the playoffs, but you're looking at them and they've used that draft process to success. And I often say Chicago, or I don't know, Tampa, whatever you want to say. They've all had the first overall pick, the second overall, the third overall pick, the Oilers, God, and there's been the odd Yakupov. There has been. But eventually, 13 years, you're talking about rebuilding on a rebuild on a rebuild on a rebuild. right? If rebuilds are 3 years, I mean, what are we talking about? So I don't know. I mean, and the thing is, you would think, a lot of people are down on Buffalo, but all the people I know that played there loved it. Like when they were doing well, I'm talking about the Brad Mays, the Matthew Barnabys, the Andrew Peters, like these guys talk about it, and they really are a family. You hear them talk about playing in Buffalo, and man, they just seem to be. It's a great place to be a teammate. It's a smaller place that comes together, that love their players, and for some reason, man, they can't put it together. You talk about the Leafs or whatever, and Leafs Nation, and I know it's been a long time without a Stanley Cup, but at least you're, there's light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to make the playoffs. Something's going to happen. You get individual awards. There's reasons to watch. I don't know. Buffalo looks like a sinking ship, but it's been slowly sinking, which just seeps into your bones. It's like this, just a cloud of negativity, and they can't escape it. You can only fire so many people.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah, like, well, that was the one thing. Like, they continue to rebuild, and they hire a GM who had no experience. And I'm just, I'm not saying that you have to go with retreads all the time either, but I don't know. I thought there were better options available at that point. And it seemed like they just, we're going to hire the guy we know. And if you don't do a vast search at that point in your organization, then I question the decision makers above even your GM. And so the Pegulas, you don't want to be too hands-on, but you should care about your business. Say, okay, what we're doing isn't working. Let's get an independent auditor in here to look at our business model, because it's clearly not working. Right? It's not like you have no success. There's no success there. And like your 2 high draft picks, you've traded both of them in Eichel and Reinhart, and look what they're doing. Right? Like
that's worse.
We didn't like Jack Eichel's doctor. We didn't want to go. We didn't want to do his surgery. And then look at Jack Eichel now. Like, what? Maybe expand your horizons. Be like, okay, why? What is it about this? And trust me, there's so many studies on North American medical practices and aren't always the right ones. And so you have somebody who looks elsewhere, and look at Jack Eichel now. He's great.
And, as far as attitude, he doesn't seem to have an attitude. Probably a lot of people are going, there must be something going on internally. I don't know. Maybe it was just the culture in Buffalo. But that was a big no-no. And we all know the story now, if you follow. His injury, and he was vocal about it. And sure enough, he came out of it. He's playing well would be an understatement. His injury healed, except he won a Stanley Cup. And you're going, how do you go from that? I mean, you're the same player. And again, think of the players that have gone there and played. And, and you can't even argue with some of the picks. I mean, I look, take that Owen Power. I mean, he looks great. He looks like but he's just seeping into that culture. And you hope, I mean, and there's more. I'm just, they've got a lot of young prospects that are great players, but they just can't put it together. I don't know. Same sort of thing in Ottawa. I know they've had a little bit slightly more success if you go back 13 years, but you're looking at a bunch of guys who are young, and like they have enough of those young studs that you would think at least playoffs, right? At least that. Now let's see. Maybe he's one of these guys who's going to become a superstar. Maybe the players that we picked up to come, maybe they take off. Who knows? But every year you're starting with hope, right? Like when I say rebuild, we're just saying that because they suck. But this year it starts. The last 13 years have started, and they can't be thinking every year we're not going to make the playoffs. But if they just say, well, they're rebuilding, it's just like, well, Buffalo are rebuilding. It's in your head. How long can you rebuild? I mean, what are we building this house out of straw? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah. Quick break. We'll return. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the Power Play 24/7 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug in to your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. you got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy corn hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Didn't get a holiday bonus? At Wolf GMC Buick, we have the bonus you need. Get 0% financing on our most popular trucks like the Sierra half-ton crew cab during GMC's Canada-wide clearance. Or select up to $8,500 on a number of Sierras. If you're looking for heavy duty, we have that too. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra HDs, Yukons, and the all-new GMC Hummer EV. And seeing it's the holidays, a $500 bonus on select 2024 and 2025 models. But when the holidays are done, so are these deals. Get to Wolf GMC Buick today.
Black Friday continues at The Brick. Hurry in and save up to $3,000 off big screen TVs. Plus, save up to 65% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off bedroom, dining, and home entertainment furniture. Plus, the more you buy, the more you save, with up to $300 off select brand name major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe in the wisdom of Patch Adams. Treat a disease, you win, you lose. Treat a person, I guarantee you'll win no matter what the outcome. We don't treat conditions, we treat people. From personalized treatment plans to compassionate care, we're committed to helping you achieve your goals. That's why hands-on techniques, unique technologies, and a commitment to hiring amazing people mixed with friendly, fun neighborhood environments. And ta-da! No, it's not magic. It's about being human. Sometimes being human hurts, but life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $10,104 off select 2024 Sierra 2500 AT4 models. Make loading easier than ever with the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Make hauling easier than ever with up to 14 available camera views, including transparent trailer view. And make finding tunes easier than ever with a class-leading 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen. Yeah, let's get to work. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team at Old Strathcona have special trainings dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:28. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Terry Ryan with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Hope you're having an awesome day. Oilers and the Wild. This is the first of 3 straight games where the Oilers should be. I guess something could change by the time Florida comes to town on Monday, but most likely 3 consecutive games against teams leading their division. And the Oilers, hey, they're 6-1 in their last 7. They've played much better. And, well, they've really played better for the last 6 weeks. And we'll see what they do tonight in Minnesota, where the Wild are a little bit beaten up. No Brodin, no Eriksson Ek, no Zuccarello. As we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, where it's Thursday. You know what that means? The Fan Day deals. $4 Big Macs, McChicken, and filet of fish. But only available through the McDonald's app. So order it, download it today, and order your $4 Big Mac, McChicken, or filet of fish. Greg Wyshynski from ESPN joins us. Are you a Big Mac, McChicken, or a filet of fish guy? Out of the 3, which is your number one?
I get a Big Mac probably once a year. I try not to overdo it with the fast food burgers, but I do love a Big Mac once in a while. The filet of fish was always funny. So I grew up Catholic, and the filet of fish was sort of a thing that was huge on Friday.
Good Friday.
During, yeah. It was a huge thing. Like you go and you get, you'd see all these people coming in. I also used to work at Burger King, so people would come in and get their fish sandwich too on a Friday. That was always a very big thing in my town.
You worked at Burger King, really? You know what? True story. I've never eaten once at Burger King in my life. Is it like, am I missing? Yeah, I never have. I've never tried a Burger King ever.
No, you're not missing anything. But two things from that. First of all, I do, for all the parents out there, I do recommend that every kid work in food service in some way. Like it makes you understand the human condition a lot better if you interact with customers and then also interact with employees while, slaving away to make Whoppers for people. But the second thing is, and this is not going to shock you at all, they tried me in a lot of different positions at Burger King, and found that ultimately I was most effective working the drive-through speaker.
Oh, shocking.
And doing that job. It's shocking, I know,
Well,
right? So like
I have worked the drive-through.
Like this Wyszynski kid has a real talent for schmoozing people as we are 15 minutes late with their order. And that was my true calling in life.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I've worked the drive-through at McDonald's on McHappy Day and stuff. I love getting in there. And I'm only in there for an hour or two, but it's awesome. It's so hilarious sometimes. You get on the speaker and you're taking and the person, they're never expecting. So I had someone like, is that all you want? Like, I'll try to play around and have some fun with it. I'm like, geez, man, you sound like you could have something. Like, are you sure you don't want a pie? No, I don't want a pie. Some guys get really upset, but there's the odd people who will chuckle about it. So we have a little fun. I love doing that in the drive-through. So then every now and then I throw them and someone's really happy. Hey, I'll buy you a cone. So throwing a cone, eh?
Yeah, you like it for 2 hours. Wish did it for years.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's only
for
2
years.
hours.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I was a veteran of it.
Yeah.
The real benefit of working at Burger King when I was a kid was, you'd get done, you'd close up, there's still food left over.
Oh.
The concoctions I made to bring home and then eat it like 1 a.m. while I'm playing Nintendo when I was in high school. My God.
Oh,
just like incredible, like quadruple burgers and stuff like that. It was sick.
Oh, love it. Is there any concoction you could come up with that could make Buffalo figure out how to win?
Well, I'm staring at my liquor cabinet now, and I'm wondering if I could pour it all together. Maybe they could forget their ills. I got fooled this year. I'm usually good at not getting fooled by the Sabres, but I got fooled this year. I thought that they had a little something. I like the Lindy Ruff thing. I thought he could go in there and really juice their offense to the point where maybe they could outscore their problems. But it turns out they just have too many problems. I'm stunned by the ineptitude of this team. I'm stunned by how it's all spiraled out of control once again for the Buffalo Sabres. When you have Kevin Adams giving these press conferences trying to explain why they can't acquire or retain talent. And at the end of the day, I think the real problem with them and with Kevin Adams in particular, I kind of feel like they're gun shy. Like they should be making more trades like the Middlestad for Bowen Byram trade. Problem being is now all of a sudden I think they're looking to maybe trade Bowen Byram.
Yeah.
You bring him in, you push him right back out. But those are the types of moves that they should be exploring if they don't think that this mix is coalescing and clearly the collection of young players, probably because they rushed some of them, aren't playing up to standards. But when you've been burned so many times in trades, how many players on the Florida Panthers and the Vegas Golden Knights and so many other teams have been populated by Sabres castoffs. 3 teams were the direct beneficiary of players that the Sabres jettisoned. Vegas with Eichel, O'Reilly with the Blues, and then Montour and Reinhart with the Panthers. And once that's happened so many times, I imagine they're just gun shy as far as trying to actually do anything with this roster.
Yeah, well, no, that's fair. Well, the Bowen Byram one, yeah, if they're going to move him, there'd be a lot of teams, I would think, interested in acquiring him. What about the Rangers? What do you make of the Rangers? They didn't look great last night. They just squeaked by. They were 2-8 going into that game in their last 10. What do you make of the Rangers and where they're at right now?
Yeah, and also 2-6 since Chris Drury put out that memo, I think it was, where he, told all 31 other general managers that Jacob Trouba and Chris Kreider were both available in theory to give the team a kick in the pants, and then it didn't really happen. They have systemic defensive problems. I've seen them a bunch this year. Good thing you've got Igor Shesterkin back there with a number of odd man rushes they give up during a game. They've, blown leads in games that they should otherwise close out, like over the weekend against the Seattle Kraken at MSG. Tangentially, I've heard that some of the veterans on the team aren't really enamored with Peter Laviolette, and that could lead to some of the lack of effectiveness on the ice for these players. There's a lot of psychological damage done to that room, man. Like, they all liked Gerard Gallant, and then they replaced him with a drill sergeant, so that didn't go over well. The way that Barclay Goodrow was sent to San Jose, the way that the Jacob Trouba stuff went down, like, that didn't set well in that locker room either. There's been a lot of sort of like bad vibes around the Rangers for the last calendar year. But ultimately, Gregor, the thing for me is like, what's it in service of? Like, if we look back 2 years from now at this Rangers team and the summer upcoming, and it's a lot of pain and a lot of discomfort and a lot of bad feelings. Oh, but by the way, Mikko Rantanen's now their top line right wing. Like, I'm sure it'll all have been worth it, but I think Chris Drury, their GM, hasn't necessarily earned the faith of a lot of people insofar as knowing what the plan is and being comfortable that it's going to lead to something greater than what's there already.
Wish, speaking of underachieving, do you think there's a realistic chance that Nashville makes the playoffs? Because I watch them and they look really uninspired. And do you think Stamkos and Marchessault are going to catch fire? Or do you just think it's a bad fit?
Well, so far it's a bad fit, and it's a good reminder that as much as you can fall in love with what you have on the roster, and I think the Predators really thought that augmenting the younger players they had there last year that overachieved would lead to great things. Now, sometimes the DNA just doesn't mesh. And there's absolutely no reason why they should be as completely feckless as they are offensively. Like, they've got a ton of talent on that roster, and it hasn't manifested in anything consistent. I mean, to be in the bottom of the league in offense with that much weaponry is insane. And especially when Andrew Burnett is, his calling card is as an offensive coach. The interesting thing about the Predators, though, is it's kind of like, I think people misread what they are. Barry Trotz has been pretty clear about, being extremely happy with the next wave of players. He thinks he's got a lot in the system. He knows he's going to add more. And the way that he's viewed Marchessault and Stamkos is not necessarily like, we're putting the pedal down and we've got to win within this window. It's more like, these are really, really good players that are going to help our young players, that are going to keep us competitive, that are going to maybe give us a chance to win something. But ultimately, they're placeholders for the next wave of player. And it's an interesting approach. And I think that, when you start talking about, is there panic in Nashville? I don't think there is, because I think they have a longer view of things than just this season. But I do think there's palpable disappointment in Nashville at the way things have gone.
Well, they just don't have. You can have the best wingers if you want. If you don't have centermen to move the puck, and I really like Ryan O'Reilly, but he's probably like a really good third line center at this stage, right? And Novak is probably a really good third line center, maybe low end offensive center. And so I think that's what they're missing a bit. Like, Roman Josi leads the NHL in most goals against on ice even strength. Roman Josi. That's
wild, right?
Yeah, that's the type of year. Like, he's on pace. Last year, most players were on the ice. It was 99 goals at even strength. He's on pace to be on the ice for 123. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
And that's one of their best guys, right? So that's kind of how it is. They're done, by the way, TR. Like, all you got to do is the math on their team. Like, they're not making the playoffs. Like, it's not happening.
So you say, but I mean, in the back of my mind, I think the reason that they haven't necessarily punted on the season is because they think back to last year when we were saying the same thing, and then they put together the best 18 games of any team in the league and played themselves into the playoffs. Like, it's the group that did that is still here, and now in theory they're even better because they've got help from the outside. But
no,
like, when a team is capable of doing that, I don't think they're going to do it again, by the way.
No.
But when a team does that, I think there's always a thought that, okay, maybe we could miraculously put something together in the second half to really make a run at it.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, it ain't happening. So just mark it down. Go to playalberta.ca. Put in Preds are missing the playoffs for sure. Looking at, what do you make of the Canucks? And, they do get JT Miller back, right? Basically, he was kind of burnt out. They got Demko now. They can't, like, their home record is awful. They might as well just forfeit home games right now and play on the road because they're the best road team in the league and like literally the worst home team. It's very odd. Like, they're a team that, despite all of that, they're still in the playoff spot, and that's why I think they'll be a playoff team. But they've had a very Jekyll and Hyde start to the season.
They have, and obviously a lot of sort of challenges along the way, injuries, the JT Miller situation, everything else. It was great to see Demko back. I feel bad for him because, I think that were it not for the injury, he'd probably be on that Team USA roster ahead of Swayman.
Probably,
but, you can't put him on if he doesn't play. I still think they're a dangerous team. I think the year Quinn Hughes has been remarkable. We did our NHL Awards watch this week, and I caught holy hell from Vancouver fans because the majority of the voters put Makar as the leader for the Norris. 75% of them, in fact, put Makar as a leader for the Norris. And I think I agree with the Vancouver fans, as crazy as they can be, that when you look at the on-ice effects of Quinn Hughes versus, let's say, the help Makar's gotten from being on the ice with McKinnon, there's no comparison. I think Quinn's been the best defenseman and maybe even kind of a Hart candidate for them. So when you have that going for you and some of the other things kind of falling into place, I think they are going to be a dangerous team, if maybe a tier down from the best teams in the West.
TR?
Speaking of NHL awards, who you think? Who you got for the Calder? Now, I know it's early, but enough games have been played. Celebrini, Michkov, Hudson. Am I forgetting somebody that's a front runner right now? And could Hudson win if he gets 0 goals and 50 assists?
A real video game glitch season at Olympic.
Yeah, I know.
You are missing someone. You're missing Dustin Wolf.
Yes.
Up until recently had been sort of the reason why the Flames were a wild card team. Then reality came, right? So I think right now it's probably Michkov, Celebrini, and Hudson as your top three. I'm a Celebrini guy. I think he's the best all-around rookie I've seen play this year. I do understand the trepidation some have as far as the number of games that he's played. I think that's fair. And I don't think that you can discount how incredible Michkov's been. And sometimes when it comes to Calder voting, it could be more about the highlight reel than it is about the numbers. And right now, Michkov's got both. I mean, he's leading the league in points for a rookie, and then he's also, got a slew of overtime game winners and highlight reel moments. But every time I see Celebrini, I'm just like, wow, like I can't believe someone that young is that fully formed as an NHL player. And the vibes are good with the Sharks. I don't know if you saw, but they put out a holiday music rap video for the first time in several years. They used to do it all the time when Marlowe and Thornton were there, and they finally put out another one, so you could tell that the ship's turning in San Jose back in a positive direction.
I will say Zach Werenski, very overlooked for the Norse. You go look at his numbers. It is phenomenal what he's doing. He's actually been on the ice for fewer goals against than both Hughes and Makar so far on a team like, if Makar's got the big two, and I agree with you, right? That's an advantage. But I look at Hughes's offensive guys, and then I look at Werenski's and what Werenski's doing. His season's been unreal in Columbus.
It truly has, and it's great to see. I mean, he was. I think last season he was really healthy for the first time in a while. And then, the other part of it too was I'm pretty sure he would have made the cut anyway for Team USA for Four Nations, but he really put the hammer down this season and quieted any debate that might have been there as far as his place on that team and placement on the team. He's been great. And quietly, Dean Evison has done a really good job in Columbus in getting that team to play and compete and be a bit better than some of the other teams that are in the East that I think maybe had a little bit more preseason buzz than they did.
Greg, always good to catch up with you, man. Enjoy a busy Thursday in the National Hockey League. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much. I got to go get a Big Mac now. You've incepted it.
There you go, buddy.
Now on me to go get a Big Mac.
Have you tried the Big Arch? Have you tried the Big Arch?
I don't know what the Big Arch is. Do we have that in the States?
Oh, what? You guys don't have the Big Arch in the States? I'm telling you.
I'm assuming we do.
It's the greatest.
The Arch Deluxe.
Yeah, no. It's
the Arch Deluxe was supposed to be the fancy sandwich.
Yeah. No,
I don't. Have I had the Big Arch? I don't know.
Well, I don't think you have, but it just came out. That's probably been out a month and a half. I'm telling you, it's the best McDonald's burger I've ever had. No joke. It's a combination of a Big Mac and quarter pounder with a different sauce, and it is so good. Like the boys had, we all agreed. We all agree is the best McDonald's burger I've ever had. So try it.
That sounds delicious. If we don't have it here, then I'm going to drive all night to the border.
You should. It's worth it. It'll be worth it for sure. Thanks, Greg.
Hey, good to see you reunited with Merrick as well, buddy.
Oh, absolutely. It's great to be back with him every Tuesday at 3:00 Eastern. Me and Jeffy cutting it up again for an hour
on the sheet.
And it feels like it's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's always beautiful on the sheet. Exactly.
I love it. Have a good one, my man.
Thanks, boys.
I made my debut on the sheet with Merrick today. So that was good times. But yeah, those two together, they're quite funny. So
I've had 5,000 Filet-O-Fishes in my life.
You're because we had people texting the show. I don't know anybody who eats a fillet of fish.
But I know my buddies have had that conversation, and I'm one of them, though.
You're the guy keeping it alive because there's a few of you like you're very loyal to it. Like my initial reaction to the fillet of fish was, so I'm dating myself here, but older people, well, like mine, I'm not old, but you know what I mean. When they used to have the different colored boxes that would come in. Fillet of fish was always in the blue.
The only one in the blue.
The only one in the blue. And that's why I always remembered it. I was like, and I never tried the fillet of fish. I don't know why. I was just like, fillet.
I only get the double fillet of fish, but I've had a lot of them. Honestly, I said 5. Realistically, though, I bet you 600-700 in my life. More than that.
Really?
Since I'm 8 years old. Oh, yeah, I love the fillet of fish, man.
I love the fillet of fish.
Now I haven't had a Big Mac or a McChicken in, I don't know, over a decade, but I've had lots of fillet of fish.
Lots of fillet of fish. All right. Well, you're living on the East Coast. You guys love your fish, so that would make sense. Quick break. We'll come back, update you on the month of giving, have a few more bids in, and more. It's Gregor, Terry Ryan, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, as well as X.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
The Junior Prospects Hockey League proudly presents the Power Winter Championship, taking over the Silent Ice Center from December 5th to 15th. This winter is all about silent ice, not silent night, as the rinks will be anything but quiet during the Bauer Winter Championship. This year's event will feature over 70 teams with more than 1,300 athletes from 4 different provinces competing for the championship. Be sure to catch all the action at the Silent Ice Center or online at silenticetv.com. For more details, go to jphlwinterchampionship.com.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area. Prices exclude delivery.
When interest rates are low, that's a good time to buy a vehicle. And 0% means it's a great time to buy. Right now, St. Albert Dodge can set you up with 0% financing on hundreds of vehicles. Virtually all new 2024 models. Jeep Compass, Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, and Wagoneer. 0%. Dodge Durango and Hornet. 0%. Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500 trucks, all as low as 0%. Why pay interest? Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 furnace service company for the holidays because we don't charge overtime rates, including 24/7 emergency. Oh, I need service, please, Santa. Tell me your price. My furnace is naughty. Would you please make it nice? No, I can't wait to find it under my tree. Please send me service from Legacy. No overtime or emergency rates during the holidays or ever. That's how you service your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta? New players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet every week all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing, or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
A mullet for Marvin, a bowl cut for Barry, a pompadour for Peter, who's now really quite hairy. After this Christmas, all the men wish they could get some hair restoration from Dr. Vance Elliott.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. While you're Christmas shopping, consider giving yourself the greatest gift of all, a full natural head of hair. I know the results will be life-changing. Want to make this the year you get your mojo back? Book a free first consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Terry Ryan is with us as well as we're going to get to TR's Tales in a sec. Conza, where are we up to now on the auction items?
We have got Kevin up to $1,500 with the dinner, and then Kevin also jumped up to $1,350 for the golf package.
All right. So there you go. 833 401 1440. 833 401 1440. You can text in. We'll update you on what the packages are just after 4 o'clock. Reminder, though, the bidding ends today at 5:30. Now, let's get to Ryan's rant, TR's Tales, brought to you by Action Electrical. Building owners can earn a refundable federal tax rebate up to 30% on a solar project's capital costs. So that's big savings, called the ITC. Learn more. Go to actionelectrical.net and they can walk you through all of it. TR.
So you know what? I can't recall. I told this story either on my podcast or on this show last year, but I'm going to add to it. So I'll just either tell it again, because I'm sure a lot of people haven't heard it. And then, like I said, I got a little bit of spice at the end. So in my draft year, 94, 95, I was always, even though I left to go out west when I was 14. I was aware that I was a super prospect, but I didn't want to do it. I loved my time in Quesnel. Just like anybody, I loved Tri-Cities, but I didn't want to leave here at 14 years old. I wish there was another option. And by the way, not part of Terry's Tales, but we're getting a Q team. The Growlers are coming back, except it's going to be a junior team in the Quebec Major Junior League. I'm so happy.
All right.
So happy. We're going to have something to watch again. The people here, the hockey's, the passion and the feel in the air is just awesome. The opposite of Buffalo. Anyway, so had that been an option, it would have been great. There's going to be kids here that get to play at home. I can't imagine. So I was homesick, but again, I loved it out there and don't regret anything, but you want to get home and see your parents and everything. And the boys were, their parents are coming down and their friends and their family from Edmonton and Vancouver and, wherever out west. Half our team was from Edmonton or more every year.
All right.
But, it's a drive, not a cross-country flight. So I, even though we only had a few days, it didn't work the same. I know you could get traded whenever. A lot of trades happened coming up to the Christmas break because, well, for kids, I can understand why it's outlawed, but it was convenient for a lot of teams, pick up after Christmas with our new squad. So there was usually a lot of work, or transactions. And there wasn't a big break. I remember we only had like a 3-day break. If I'm wrong, it was 2, and they let me have practice off on the 3rd day because I was flying home. And I knew what would happen. I was only going to fly into St. John's. Takes a full day to get over here, and then we're 4.5 hours ahead of where we were in Tri-Cities. So I knew that I would only be here for the Christmas day, and I'd have to get right back and go the other way, but it was worth it to me. It was worth it to me to see my friends and my family on the Christmas Eve and then spend Christmas here and go right back.
Okay.
So they thought I was out to lunch, but I said, Sue Johansson, she was working in the office. I said, Sue, just it would mean the world to me.
Just wait a sec. Not late night with Sue Johansson, right? Like a different.
No, it wasn't. I know it's great. Imagine if she was working in our office and I didn't make that part of the story. No, she was. I just remember, just saw her every day, passed by her, and she was a secretary, but she came to all the events, and she was like an extension of mom, really, in the office, whatever we need taken care of, coffee, whatever. So she got me the ticket over, and I was so pumped. And of course, this was pre-2001. So she just got me the ticket, and I went to the airport and went right up. There wasn't as much security. There wasn't as much check. So I just got on my flight, and I went into Toronto, and I didn't think anything of it. I got off, and I just presented my next ticket and got on the plane and slept. And I said, okay, when I wake up, I'm finally going to be in St. John's. And I woke up, and I was in St. John, New Brunswick. So
oh no,
yeah, there was a disconnect in St. John, New Brunswick. I guess if you see that as being part of Atlantic Canada, and it's one of the cities, St. John's, Moncton, Halifax, there's only so many, they're all cute teams, but so they saw that, and I don't know if it was Sue or someone that helps her out, but just assumed that was my home. So now I get there, and it's Christmas Eve, and I realize there's no chance that I'm getting to St. John's, Newfoundland on this trip. So I have to spend my Christmas in a hotel in St. John. And for those that have been there, I think it was called the Delta then, but it's the one that connects with the arena. If you go, they got like a huge skywalk in St. John, and I don't know, I'm thinking like 500 yards or a kilometer, like it's a long way. And but anyway, it was that hotel. And I just remember heading down, and really was upset. I was crying. Well, I was just like really wanted to see my friends at home, and I had so much success to start the year, and I started to be on the draft radar, and I just, for so many reasons, I was proud. I wanted to see and it was emotional to me not to be home for Christmas. Anyway, I got talking, and there was a dude. I sat in the bar, and I'm not one to just sit there and drink on my own. But I believe, I was lonely, and this dude was there, and we had a conversation, and he told me about, he said he was working that night because he said Christmas, it doesn't mean the same since his wife passed away. I don't remember this guy's name. I didn't think much of it at the time. I just figured, well, you know what? Your wife's not here, and I was supposed to be in Newfoundland, so we'll sit here and have a few beers and, I don't know, drown our sorrows kind of thing. Yes, I was in junior. Yes, it was a different world. And so we did, and I thought about it afterwards, and I wish I'd clicked into me at the time. When I say afterwards, years afterwards, I thought about it, and I went, Christmas isn't so joyous for everybody. I'm upset that I don't get to go home on this particular year, but everybody's alive, everybody's well. And a lot of people out there, there's a reason to be, that Christmas might make you emotional. I mean, it's meant to bring joy, and I think for the most part it does, but a lot of people have had a tragedy surrounding Christmas, or they might have just lost somebody, and now it's their first Christmas without them. I talk about my buddy Chris Ryan, Sierra just passed. Yep. I can imagine what that family's thinking. And a lot of things happen at Christmas so just be aware, you're out there during the Christmas season. It's one thing to be giving and to be a good Samaritan, but also be aware that sometimes, people in the room might have had a different experience, and it might bring back some memories that they really need. Christmas brings people together, but they actually really need it. And as long as, mental health and all those things are certainly less frowned upon now, and there's more eyes on it, I just like to tell people that and incorporate my story, because it started off as the worst Christmas ever, but I can't say it was the best. But I do remember talking to that guy and thinking, my troubles are just absolutely light fluff when it comes to what some people go through. So it's nice to remember that.
Nice. Did you guys have a Christmas cheer that day?
Back then, what do you mean a Christmas cheer?
Like, did you guys have a cheer like to his late wife or no?
Oh yeah, we spent. I mean, I was there I remember all of it. I remember that I would probably spent 5 hours down there if I spent a minute. I got in, there was nobody on the go on Christmas Eve. I didn't know anybody in St. John at the time. Now I do. at the time, I don't think I'd ever been there ever, and there wasn't so much social media or so when I said Tri-City Americans, no one knew what the hell I was talking about, right? I mean, it's one thing to be in the WHL, I don't know, there's teams that are traditional and that have been there forever, Prince Albert, Medicine Hat, whatever, but the Tri-City Americans were fairly new. I was out in Washington State. I'm in Atlantic Canada, but I'd never been to St. John. I remember it was just it felt kind of lonely. And this guy, whatever, we picked up on each other's grief, I guess. And his was way more tragic than mine. But it was, we were by the end of it singing songs. I remember watching, I can't remember. We had a hockey game on. Might have been a rerun. It was Christmas Eve. But yeah, we, Christmas cheer to say the least. We cheered each other up. And even I remember checking out to go back, and he was there in the morning. I think this guy just, sometimes you're like, how do you work so much? Well, it's to get your mind off something.
Yeah.
And, so clearly he was going through a hard time. But I remember that. It wasn't so bad. It wasn't such a bad Christmas. But at the time, it seemed like just the end of the world, not being home.
That's Ryan's Rant. TR's Tales brought to you by Action Electrical. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. We have coming up later on, Kenny Reed will join us. Spec will be by. More on the Orders and the Wild. Month of Giving continues on. We got two great packages. We'll tell you what they are next on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. But first, a Connor Halley Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Up until December 14th, Fountain Tire is giving away a set of 4 Salient Terramax AT2s to one lucky winner. They're built for SUVs, pickup trucks, and vans. So go to fountaintire.com/promotions to enter. You have 2 more days. Fountain Tire.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers placed defenseman Travis Dermott on waivers today. The move comes a day after they claimed defenseman Alec Regula off waivers from the Boston Bruins. Oilers in action tonight. Puck drop 6:30. Taking on the Minnesota Wild. Our pregame coverage gets going at 5:30 with Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, and Donovan Paulson. Elsewhere around the NHL, the Ducks taking on the Leafs, Canadiens host the Penguins, Kings in Jersey, Flyers up against the Red Wings, the Caps take on the Jackets, Islanders, Hawks, Blues, Sharks, Preds, Stars, Jets host the Golden Knights, Utah in Colorado, Flames taking on the Lightning, and it's the Panthers in Vancouver. In the NFL, Week 15 kicks off tonight as the Niners host the Rams. That one's set for 6:15 from Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. In the association, you have the Raptors taking on the Heat. That gets going at 5:30. Also at 5:30, Celtics host the Pistons. Then at 6 o'clock, the Kings in New Orleans. World Junior H Challenge down in Camrose tonight. Canada East in action. They're taking on Sweden right now. Right now, 1-1 in the first. Later tonight, puck drop 7:30. Canada West taking on the United States. And in the AJ, Fort Mac hosting Drumheller. That gets going at 7:30. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions and be joined by Ken Reed of Sportsnet. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 on Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Checking off your gift list can go more smoothly when you give smoothies. From now till December 31st, buy a $30 Booster Juice gift card and gift yourself with any regular size smoothie for free. Try the new salted caramel smoothie made with vanilla oat beverage, vanilla frozen yogurt, and decadent caramel. It pairs magically with the salted caramel booster ball, bursting with Score toffee bites, cinnamon, maple syrup, cashew butter, and more. Happiest of holidays from Booster Juice. Download the Booster Rewards app today.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Let's rock. Edmonton's biggest New Year's Eve party is at On the Rocks.
Featuring Edmonton's #1 party band, the Barkhells. The Barkhells.
Get ready to dance the night away as we ring in 2025 in style at OTR.
Tickets include a 3-course meal, party favors, and bubbly at midnight.
This party sells out every year.
Oh, and if you don't have anyone to kiss at midnight, Marco is always available.
OTR's New Year's Eve party.
Tickets at ontherocksyeg.com.
Weather forecast? Ugh. Savings forecast? Cha-ching. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 at Fountain Tire until December 14th.
On the sheet,
Restrictions
exactly.
apply. Fountain Tire.
Love it.
We're
Have a
on
good
this
one,
road
my man.
together.
Hockey is back.
Thanks, boys.
And Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
It's Thursday. You know what that means. The fan day deals.
Boosted odds, live betting,
Be
player
from,
props, and
E-
more. New to Play Alberta.
Joins
new
us.
players now receive
Are you a Big Mac,
$200 in free
McChicken, or a
bets
filet of
just
fish
for
guy?
signing
Out of
up.
the 3,
Ready
which
to
is
play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet every week all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Ain't it beautiful? There's electricity in the air. Carrie Dahl here for Volvo of Edmonton, where the Volvo XC40 and C40 fully electric vehicle is now in stock, along with a great selection of Volvo T8 hybrid models. Experience the trusted Volvo quality and technology to power into tomorrow at Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Experience the difference.
Volvo of Edmonton.
A lot of things were going on in 1974. Happy Days premiered on television. The Rubik's Cube was invented. Alley and Foreman fought the rumble in the jungle. And GS Construction started their first job. Yes, for 50 years, GS Construction has been building the infrastructure of Edmonton and surrounding areas. Think of the neighborhoods that weren't even built yet. Think of all the work that had to be done to get them built. Probably about 50 years. But for GS Construction, it's been time well spent. For more, visit gsconstruction.ca.
It's Canadian Tire's Christmas Rush Sale. Dash in and save up to 35% off Christmas trees, lights, and decor. Sale ends on December 12th. Conditions and exclusions apply.
This is the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440. Favorite us right now.
Powered by playalberta.ca. If you gamble, use your game sense. Learn more at gamesense.ab.ca.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. The Canada-wide clearance is on now at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation. See more at gmcoffers.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Of course, sports1440.ca. The Oilers, Minnesota Wild. Ooh, the Oilers have not won a game there since February 2019. God. Some of you, maybe think about like what has changed in your life since 2019. A lot. The Oilers hadn't, they haven't missed the playoffs since. That's positive. But yeah, they've lost 6 in a row in mini. It's a weird thing. We'll see, though. Can they change it tonight? No Brodin. No Eriksson Ek. No Zuccarello. Of course, no Kane or Arvidsson for the Edmonton Oilers. Victor Arvidsson did not go on the trip, stayed home skating, but he's saw a glimpse of him on the ice the other day. It looks like he's skating really well. So, you know what? Now he obviously has to practice with the team, but maybe Florida? Maybe. I guess there's a chance for Vegas, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We have 2 great packages today on Month of Giving. $1,500 for package 1 right now. It's a dinner. Well, it's really 10, but it's you and 5 of your friends. So there'll be 6 of you. We'll show up at Chop Steakhouse, either Ellerslie or downtown. It's your choice, in the private room. And it includes 5-course dinner, wine pairings, your choice of beverages. On top of that, if you want a beer or highball, whatever, chocolate milk. Lots of great food, dessert, so good. And you'll be dining with Carius and Ladislav Schmid, Eddie Steele, and the Duke, Brandon Douglas. Will he be wearing Wranglers? It's a good question. I'm not sure, but maybe a pretty good chance. But Eddie and Schmieder and Carius, and you guys will have you'll have lots of laughs. That'll be a great time. And so that's currently at $1,500. Package number 2 from Fitted Golf. This is for the golf, or somebody in your house, you're like, you know what, you got to improve your game. This is going to improve their game. So first, you're going to get the Fitted Golf driver and evaluation fitting. Now, this is not just this is an extensive fitting. So you're going to need a few hours. They check everything, and they're going to build a custom fit driver for you. Okay. So you do all the driver evaluation fitting, and then you get the new Rishon hand-built driver. It's pretty awesome. Also, you'll get a $750 gift certificate. You can use to any other new equipment you want. You want them to make you some irons or some woods, putter, whatever. Or they can even alter your existing stuff. One of our listeners actually went in there for a driver. They're like, your driver's actually really good, but they altered his irons. That's what it wasn't proper, and it takes a few strokes off your game. You will also get the Pro Putter Check and get a full report on your current putter motion /swing. All right. That is key. Very key. Because all of a sudden, you know what? You're playing with your buddies. No more 3-putts. You play the card game with your friend. You're not in the sand. Well, maybe you're in the sand. But your 3 jacks will likely go down. And that's key. And that's currently at $1,350. So that's with the $750 GCs. We want to get those up as well. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 for package 1, the dinner. Package 2, of course, the golf package. So let's try to pump those up a little bit. Now let's go get some thoughts here from the orders, of course, from head coach Chris Knobloch. Just specifically, the defensive play. That game in Tampa was just like an exclamation point on how good they've been lately defensively.
Liked our composure, and there were some mistakes, and that's always going to happen as long as that's because you can't play defensively. You are going to give up chances, especially a team like Tampa, where they've got, Boyan, Kucherov, numerous players who are very good players. They are going to get some chances, but I thought we did a pretty good job on just playing a good defensive game and limiting their opportunities. And, I thought they did a good job, and, we didn't have as many as we usually do also, but playing good, strong defensive hockey is really important for winning in the long run.
100%. And the Oilers, that's been kind of their calling card for most of this season. Their offense has started to come around, and they also have a new player. Now, we're not going to see him tonight, but they picked a young Regula up on waivers. What does the head coach know, if any, about his new defenseman?
I just had a few months to talk to him. The reports I've got from our management on what type of player he is, and his injury history, and how he's progressed and where he's going to be coming back. And also I had to give Evan Bouchard a hard time because we've added another London night. But we're obviously very excited to have him a part of our organization.
Of course, there's lots of Erie Otters and a few London Knights, of course, as Regula and Bouchard. They actually were defense pair partners for years. So we'll hear from Bouchard on that. He's probably the one guy who could probably speak about him the best. So we'll get to that. From the head coach, so what is it about the Wild that makes him such a tough opponent?
Well, first, Kaprizov obviously is a big part of it. You look at the year he's having, second scoring, his plus minus, everything is very dominant player in the NHL right now. And another one is just how well they are defensively. I think they're probably the second best defensive team. I know they've given up the fewest goals between them and Los Angeles. They don't give very much, and that's, their forwards buying into a system, their defense playing really well, and their goaltenders standing up with some big saves. But so I think those two, obviously having good players and playing into a system, but I think with their defensive game and Kaprizov, I think those are the two biggest.
Yeah, it always helps when you got a superstar player, and right now Kaprizov is a superstar player. Let's hear from the new guy, Alex Regula. Just kind of his thoughts on a little bit of a whirlwind, right? You finally come back, you get healthy, and I'm probably going to go to the minors and the Edmonton Oilers claim him. So what's kind of gone on for him in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, it's been good. I'm super excited, really happy for the opportunity, and a bit of a whirlwind, as I think most guys would say in the situation, but just a lot of happy, good emotions. I think just something to be really excited about.
And how does he feel? What's he going to add to help this team?
Good question. I think, just finding my game first off would be great, and kind of getting my feet wet. Definitely a little bit of ways to go there. And like you said, I think I can help the team, move the puck, get the puck into the hands of some of the special players they have there so they can make a lot of plays. And I think that's kind of the focus.
And lastly, just his thoughts. Now, him and Evan Bouchard is a few years ago, of course, but they were teammates, actually defense partners for a year in London.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's been a while since I've seen him, but we had a lot of good times in London, D partners there. And he's a great guy and just a really good guy to have on your side coming in. I think he's just someone I can lean on, and any questions, anything like that, he's just really good with all that kind of stuff. So it's great.
And so what about Bouchard? His thoughts on having a former junior partner now with him on the Oilers?
Yeah, it's good to see him again. Just to have a player like that in your organization is going to be very helpful. Big, smart, sees the game really well. I think it's a good acquisition.
And then Bouchard, just his thoughts on the turnaround here for the Oilers. Are 6-1 in their last 7 games, and from his vantage point, obviously the power play's been rolling as well. But what does he feel are some of the key points and why the team's on a roll?
Everybody's contributing. I think that's the biggest thing. Everybody's buying into what we want to do, how we want to play. When we get rolling, it's we're a hard team to stop, and we have confidence. Hard team to stop. You can see from our streaks last year, our run last year, and I think we're getting back to that now.
It's a fair point. Right? Remember when they won 24 of 27 games? Won 8 in a row, lost 3, and then won 16 in a row. I shouldn't say never, but the odds of a 16 gamer is the second longest winning streak in NHL history. So it's rather challenging to do. And so there you have it. That's the In the Room, brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. The lineup report, I should say, brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Hey, if you're looking, think about it for career. You can get a bi-weekly payments of only $105. We'll get you in a boat for next summer at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. The Oilers lineup tonight. You look at it, of course, McDavid will center Nugent Hopkins and Zach Hyman. You will have Leon Draisaitl between Kapanen and Podkolzin. You'll see Henrique with Janmark and Skinner, Ryan, Brown, and Perry, Echo and Bouchard, Nurse and Stetcher, Kulak playing with Mr. Emberson, and then, of course, Calvin Pickard, will be in goal tonight. So Pickard tonight, which tells me we're likely going to see Skinner on Saturday and on Monday. So why not? Skinner's been playing great as of late. And you know what? You've been getting solid performances from your backup, and they don't want to overplay Skinner. There's really no reason to. So I don't mind that, but it'll be Pickard up against Gustafsson. Obviously, the advantage, I guess, for the Oilers tonight is the injuries to the Minnesota Wild. And I think it really gives Edmonton an advantage down the middle because no Eriksson Ek. And because of that, Rossi is now going to be their number 1 center with Kaprizov and Boldy. And then you'll have Ryan Hartman, who's more of a winger. He's centering Foligno and Johansson. Freddie Gaudreau with Lacau and Trennan. And Marat Kuznetsov with Jones and Devon Shore. Say that 5 times fast. Middleton and Faber. Chisholm with Spurgeon, Bogosian, and John Merrill. No Jonas Brodin. No Zuccarello. And now he's been out a while, but no Eriksson Ek as well. So that's 3 pretty key injuries tonight for the Minnesota Wild. But specifically, the Eriksson Ek down the middle, like Rossi and Hartman versus McDavid and Draisaitl, that's a big advantage for Edmonton. There's no doubt about it. And I want to see if they can take advantage of that tonight. Hey guys, what are your prediction on how many players will hit 100 points this season from Brian? Interesting question, Brian. Well, I would be confident in saying McDavid and Draisaitl are going to score 100 points. I would say Kaprizov is going to score 100. I think McKinnon is going to score 100. Mikko Rantanen. So what's that? 5. Kucherov, if he's healthy, he's scoring 100 points. Like it's still hard to score 100 points. And then there's guys like, Marty Necas is on such a great start that you're like, okay, can you do it? But last year, I think, Cons, can you look it up? I think it was 9. I think JT Miller was the 9th one. So what did I say? McDavid, Draisaitl, McKinnon, Rantanen, Kucherov, Kaprizov, there's 6. So like, I don't think, because I know there's way more on pace for it right now, but on pace and then doing it. But like Marty Necas is on such a good start. Like he only needs 57 points now the rest of the way for him to get 100. And so you'd only have to be a point a game player, which is still pretty hard. Like, don't get me wrong. But like Reinhart, Jack Eichel's injury history, like he always seems to miss 10 games. So Mitch Marner's never had 100. He's at 99. I'm going to say 8. And how many were there last year, Cons?
There were 9.
Oh, it was 9. JT Miller's 9th, right?
Yeah, he had 103. Kaprizov, had he stayed healthy, he would have got there. He had 96 in 75 games played. But
yeah, but that's the thing. Like,
gotta stay healthy.
Gotta stay healthy, right?
Yeah,
or get lucky a little bit at the same time. So I'm going to say 8. You, Cons?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'll be the optimist and say some guys stay healthy and are able to close in on it. I'll go double digits. Let's go 10.
Ooh, I like it.
I'm all about the offense, Okay. I want to see it as much as possible.
And you're never going to get an argument from me on that. We'll come back. Reader will join us. We'll get more into to Minnesota and the Oilers. We got more bids coming in. It's 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And we got the dinner at Shop. It's 6 of you. You'll dine with Schmid and Steele and Carius and Douglas. It's 5-course dinner meal. All the wine pairings, all your other beverages, everything's included. You'll have a great time in the private room. And it's your choice. You can either do it downtown or Ellerslie, whichever one's more convenient for your group of 6. And that's at is that 1,500? I know it's up. What's it at?
Oh, no, 1,500.
1,500. Okay.
Yeah.
And the golf's also at 1,500. And the golf package, courtesy of Fitted Golf. And that will include, so what they're going to do is you get the Fitted Golf driver fitting. So you go through all of the fitting stuff. Then they'll custom build a driver. After all the data that they get from your fitting, they're going to build you a driver. So that's one thing. You get the brand new driver and the fitting. Unreal. Then you'll get a $750 GC towards any new equipment or alterations for your existing equipment. And you get the pro putter check. And you get the full report and then analyzes your putter swing, your putter motion. It's fantastic. So it's going to help you on the tee. It's going to help you on the green. And then you can get the GC to help you in between. And all of a sudden, you're going to be a dominant golfer. Or just or an improved golfer. That's all. Hey, maybe you're a 100-stroke guy. Now you can be 95, 92. You're 90, maybe you can get down to 84 or 5. 80, a little bit harder, but maybe you can get down to 77, 76. Why not? So that's also at 1,500. 833-401-1440.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, noods. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood, oodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, noods. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood. Troll low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
For years now, we've been warning Edmontonians on the hazards of our stormwater facilities. While they may appear to look like still ponds, there is moving water beneath the surface, which makes the ice dangerously The unpredictability of stormwater facilities makes them treacherously unsafe for all winter activities, even walking. So think twice. Don't go on the ice. A safety message from EPCOR.
Vimy and Donnan Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you are a student athlete interested in growing as both a person and a hockey player, visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.ca to register for a free shadow day. Beginner or an experienced player, these programs are designed to nurture and develop your skills in a positive and supportive environment. Vimy and Donnan help student athletes pursue their passion for hockey while achieving their academic goals. Register for a Vimy and Donnan Hockey Shadow Day today.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Prime Fasteners and Tools, your trusted source for the latest Milwaukee products and deals. Prime Fasteners and Tools offers power tools, accessories, storage solutions, and the fasteners you need to get your project done on time and on budget. Whether you're a contractor or a weekend warrior, everyone is welcome at Prime Fasteners and Tools. For the best Milwaukee experience, visit Prime Fasteners and Tools, located at 12304 184th Street.
Are you losing sleep over your debt? Being hounded by collection calls? My name is Parveen Middleton, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I understand this can be a stressful situation, and I'm here to help. I can put a stop to these collection calls and guide you towards your debt-free future. All it takes is one phone call. Let's discuss your debt relief options during a free consultation. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118th.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
For 28, welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. As Darren comes in, $2,000 on the dinner package at Chop. So now we're off and rolling. I like it. We got an hour left. We're going to go till 5:30 tonight for the auction. So we're up to $2,000 on the dinner. We're at $1,500 for the golf fitting and the driver and the $750 GC from Fitted Golf, as well as the putter analysis for your putting game, baby. You got someone in your family or yourself. This is an ideal Christmas gift, or just a gift for yourself for being a good human. Nice. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination. They got limos, they got buses, they got it all. You'll ride in style. SilentRides.ca. As Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, with you as we welcome in Ken Reed from Rogers Sportsnet. Reader, how you doing?
Good. Is the putter analysis with a psychologist?
Wow. Maybe. Well, you know what, though? Because lots of people, I was talking to Jason at Fitted Golf, and he goes, so many people don't have the right equipment that it really doesn't matter, like how you swing. And sometimes people will, well, if I get this driver, but they don't change your swing or anything, well, it's not going to matter. So they go through the whole analysis, and maybe when you're putting, you don't even know it, but you're pulling it back just a little bit. And so every time now when you putt, well, why am I always missing to the left? Well, it's because of your stroke. So they do a lot of that stuff. It's not just the putter, but they look at the swing motion, which is usually the arc, which is the different. Yeah. So
I see. Well, whatever works for you.
Okay. Well, you know what? Trust me, Reader. Unless you're on the pro tour, you could probably get some help with our golf swings, I would guess.
And like so I tell my kids, if I'm trying to coach them in hockey or baseball or whatever, I don't need coaching. I go, Tiger Woods has a swing coach, guys. You need coaching.
Yes.
Okay. Open your mind.
Yes, that's actually very
Absolutely.
smart. I like that. Really, lots going on. I want to get your thoughts. Last offseason it was the Ohtani, the Jays, and now it's Juan Soto, and they didn't get Juan Soto either. And the GM comes up. Well, I was just happy to be part of the process. Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean you're happy to be part of it? What does that even mean? Like, hey, we're happy to offer you a lot of money, and then we're not willing to pay a lot of other guys. Like, I don't understand it.
No, anyone with logic doesn't understand. Listen, Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins are absolute magicians. They're magicians because they've convinced Blue Jays ownership that they're still capable of doing their jobs. Mark Shapiro can renovate a stadium. He sure as hell can't make a winning ball club. Ross Atkins sounds like a politician. I cannot listen to them. I cannot stand it. They have convinced ownership of this team that they are capable of running a team. All they can do is sell 727,000 hot dogs and brag about it. They are absolutely unqualified to run a Major League Baseball team. In Cleveland, they renovated the stadium and ruined the team. In Toronto, they're doing the same thing. Is that a soft answer? No, but that's what you're going to get from me because I am done with these two. I was done with these 2 years ago, and the fact that they run a Major League Baseball team and want to get a children's participation ribbon for being in the Juan Soto sweepstakes is embarrassing and humiliating to anyone that considers themselves a Blue Jays fan.
Yeah, I love it, buddy. It's very well said. I could not believe it. Like, we're just grateful to be part of the. What does that even mean? Like, give me a break. Yeah. Like, hey, and exactly. How and were they ever really like? They were never getting close. It was the Yankees and the Mets. Like the Jays were like, we'll listen to you, but come on, they were never even in consideration.
They were used as leverage, plain and simple. And the sad part is they go after Juan Soto, guns a-blazing. They went after guy last year, Ohtani, guns a-blazing. Meantime, they have Vladimir Guerrero here for years under contract who's willing to renegotiate. And these two cannot get it done with a guy who's in Toronto and says he wants to play for the Blue Jays. How pitiful is that they can't get it done with there's a girl wanting to go to the dance with them. She's a great girl. Instead, they're out there at the mall, shopping at the food court, looking for a girlfriend who doesn't even want them. Listen, to be loved, you need to be loved, and you need somebody to be interested in you. Yeah. You think Ohtani and Soto are really interested? No. Guerrero's interested. He wants to stay.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing.
Vladdy's a legacy name. I mean, he's a great player, and I know that. Was it his second year? Or he had a phenomenal year. I mean, so that's a possibility still. A lot of people act like he's written off. I mean, this guy had 30 dingers. Like, he's a great player who's still got lots of years of prime left. So what? I mean, you're from Toronto. You go to the games. I keep my eye on it, but I just can't understand why you would be so public. Not public even about going after these guys, but when you say that you're happy to be part of the process, it just makes you're stamping. It's a rubber stamp. Hi, everybody. We're inferior. We're inferior, and we're so happy that we're here. And it's what a terrible message from leadership on your team. And not only that, Vladdy is sitting there. I mean, he must be looking at this saying, I'm here. I've said I want to stay here. I'm on record saying I don't ever want to be a Yankee. But if they're going to offer me hundreds of millions more and at least make me feel important, I don't know what they're offering, but they'll be in on it. Like, so what from that? Did you guys, have they been working on anything with Vladdy publicly, or what do we not know?
Publicly, no. You guys have seen Teen Wolf, right?
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox turns into a wolf. All of a sudden, the popular girl wants him. Buffy was there all along. Buffy wanted you. Buffy was way better than that girl. Vladdy is here. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that they're proud of being fifth in the Soto sweepstakes and second in the Ohtani sweepstakes. Do you really think they were second? Do you really think for a second Ohtani was going to come here?
Yeah.
And to brag about it is just embarrassing. Do you see the New York Yankees brag that they were in on Soto? Do you see any other team brag that they had a shot at a free agent? Absolutely not. They're trying to satisfy a fan base. Listen, when Shapiro took over this organization, his whole thing was, well, you don't have a very good farm system. You spent it all. And, well, Vladdy Guerrero had signed under Alex Anthopoulos. Yeah. Alex Anthopoulos has since left. He's turned Atlanta into a winner. He got a ring when he was with the Dodgers. This Blue Jays team's farm system is embarrassing. As Steve Simmons pointed out in a great article, they had signed Acuna in Atlanta. Look, the deal that Judge signed for 3 years ago looks like a bargain now. And instead, he's going to have to throw way more money at Vladimir Guerrero Jr. than he did years ago, than he could have years ago, because A, they either undervalued Guerrero and didn't assess him correctly, or B, they're smarter than everybody else. And I'm guessing it's A and B, because
another guy they undervalued. Sorry.
Yeah,
another guy they undervalued.
They still don't understand the Toronto market, guys. It's horrible. TR, it's like going to Newfoundland and trying to tell you that bologna ain't Newfoundland steak. You know what you got. These guys, they just don't know. It's like going to Alberta, Gregor, and trying to tell them, oh, the beef from Chicago is better.
Yeah.
They just can't relate to this market.
Now, they know about Teoscar Hernandez. Do you think there's a chance they're going to get him back, or in a twisted mental approach, would that admit that you may be screwed up getting rid of him?
Well, they were smarter than everybody when they traded Teoscar Hernandez for Eric Swanson and a minor league pitcher. Okay? There's people that still won't admit that that was a bad deal because Teo was going to walk anyway. Well, why not sign him? If Teo comes back, I think it will be an attempt to satisfy Vladdy and maybe try to keep him there that way.
Well, and that might be right because those two obviously got along and were great. So I love the offseason chat at Major League Baseball. In the NHL, Reader, it's intro like Buffalo's super close. You've got Montreal kind of where I thought they'd be. Ottawa dismantled the Ducks last night, and Toronto's probably going to dismantle them again tonight. The Leafs, I know everybody says, well, until the playoffs, it doesn't matter. And I do understand that to some extent. However, you can't just flip a switch, right? You do need to be playing, better overall. Do you believe this team is playing better overall?
Yes. So that's just it, Gregor. You can't just flip a switch. So in years past, this team was fun to watch, man. They're a great regular season team. TRU and I have had this chat so many times. I always said the Leafs are built for the regular season. Well, now, thanks to some changes on the back end, thanks to changes in the style that Craig Berube has playing, I can't believe I'm saying this. The Leafs are built for playoff hockey now, guys. They can win a 2-1 game. They can win a boring game. They couldn't do that before. And as a bonus, they still have that explosive factor. The game that the Oilers played the other night was a fantastic game, that 2-1 win. The Leafs can play that kind of game now. They couldn't play that kind of game before. Oilers can also play the explosive game. The Leafs can play the explosive game. But we both know it works in the playoffs. Look, I wish river hockey worked in the playoffs. I don't think it does. In those 16 wins, you need to get the cup. River hockey might work in 3 or 4 of them, but most of the time it's going to be grinded out, play responsible, full team game. And the Leafs can actually do that now. And I think the proof in that is when they were missing 6 regulars and they were missing Austin Matthews, other bodies came in and played the same style as the bodies that went out. And the whole team is playing the same way. Whereas in years past, I think it was, have at her, boys, show off your skill. But then if somebody goes down, you can't necessarily replace that. And that's why you have your AHL team play the same way as your big club. So I think Toronto's taken under Treliving and under Berube, they're taking a more mature approach, a kind of a grown-up hockey approach that, this minivan isn't the Porsche, but the minivan's pretty practical, and I can get to the road trip to Disneyland in the minivan better than I can in the Porsche.
Yeah, no, that's
another thing.
Yeah, go ahead, TR.
Well, I was going to say another thing that's eluded them has been good goaltending. And sorry, I'm on my phone here, so it's harder to predict. But one thing that's eluded them has been goaltending. Now, do you think there's a number one there, or do they keep going back and forth? Both goalies have been playing great. Wall came in. I'm kind of nervous about his availability. He seems to get injured at really weird times. but both of them are standing on their heads. I don't think that it can keep up to this level, but what do I know? Do you think that there's going to be a number one emerge from that?
I think there will be eventually. I think for now, you just keep going with both of them, right? And let them both push each other. I love Stolarz. He's big. He's 6'7", but he's athletic, because I hate goalies that just stand there and try to get hit with the puck. Stolarz is big, but he doesn't do that. And Wall, injury history. So I think you keep both of them going, because if you keep Stolarz going too, right, TR, that's going to cut down on how many games Wall has to play, which will lessen his chance of getting hurt. So, yeah, for me, you keep them both going, absolutely.
Ken Reed from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Reader, some of the other stories around the NHL that are kind of interesting. You look at Kaprizov, like he's one of the more dynamic players in the game right now. There's no question. Like Minnesota, I used to be like, oh my God. And I'm sure you did the highlights all the time. You're like, oh, we have a Minnesota highlight that's actually exciting. Like you'd scratch to find one, but now they're there all the time. Are there, like, when you compile all the highlights, like, are there certain guys that you now are like, geez, I got to watch this guy more because of certain highlights I see?
Kyle Connor did that to me. That guy's just a pure sniper, right? I love pure snipers, and I love snipers that look like snipers. You know, he had the ratty hair till he cut it, but he's kind of skinny. He has the tinted visor. Now that Laine's back, I'm like, okay, I got to watch Laine. Anybody with a tinted visor that just snipes, I've always liked. But yeah, Kyle Connor, he sucked me in a few years ago. I'm like, I just got to watch Kyle Connor. And like all good snipers, guys, he's kind of quiet until something happens. Like, and I love that. I love that aspect of the game. And I love that Laine's sniping for Montreal, because the Montreal Canadiens and right-handed snipers, they just go together, like Richer, LaRouche, Lafleur. Like, it's so cool for me to see a guy sniping for Montreal.
Well, Laine is such a, and the thing about Laine, like when he scores, it's almost like it's rare to get a real good celebration from. That's the only thing. I think his cellies are like a low, like he's got to improve his cellies. That's the one thing I would say about him.
See, I like that he doesn't. I like that he's like, yeah, all right, did it again. I like to been there, done that. TR, I don't need some guy running around the ice, putting his stick down, warming his hands on it, pretending his stick's on fire. You know, TR?
Oh, that was a sick. That was a sick celly.
Yeah, that type just.
Yeah, that was the best celly ever. No, I just think if you score a goal, if you want to go crazy, go crazy. If you want to just go ho-hum, go ho-hum.
No, it's fair. I like it like some, not every goal's even, right? Like certain goals, and I've seen Laine get excited, but every now and then, like you score a big goal, you should be excited about it. Right? Like I remember like Messier, it didn't matter. He always had, both hands up over his head. He wasn't going crazy or dancing, but every goal he scored was like, hey, you know what? This is still fun. Because I think like every guy out there would love to score a goal. So that's why I'm like, you know what, celebrate when you can, because you know what, there's, now, even if you score 50 a year, it's still 30 some games, or probably half your games, because you're scoring a few where you got two where you're not scoring. So I'm a big fan of Selly guy. I love it.
I always like Wayne's double pump. That's what I used to incorporate in my men's league and beer league game. My Wayne double pump. So that was me.
TR, you ever have a favorite celebration?
Well, I mean, I was, that was definitely, I was kind of known for that in the Western League, to be honest with you. I'm not trying to toot my horn at all here, but definitely I went over the line on a few of those sellies. The favorite one, I don't know, man. This is going to be tough, but, of course, you're not probably going to believe it, but I was the original hot stick, and there's a story behind that. I'll tell you another rant. For real, I'm serious. But I used to bring out the fisherman once in a while. Being from Newfoundland in the Western League, people got a kick out of that one. You can just picture toe the blade down, pass it out like a fishing rod, then reel it in. And there wasn't anybody doing it at the time. It was tough to be. I mean, everything felt original because there was no social media. I'm sure someone else in the world had that idea, but I don't know. I made it my own in the West and did it probably half dozen times. Enjoyed it.
Now, was there a favorite that you saw someone else do, and you're like, okay, I respect that one?
Well, the Tiger Williams was really, that kind of took on a folklore element, so doing that riding the stick, that would be the only one that, and I felt that was, everybody knew that. So doing that, I felt everybody knew I was paying homage to Tiger Williams. I didn't want to rob anything else because I wanted to be original. If you're going to do it, you might as well do something that's original. If not, give an homage to one of the best ever to do it. So that's exactly what I was doing when I did that. Everything else, I think, came from my own brain. We used to try to outdo each other in Red Deer. That's where the hot stick came from. It wasn't like spur of the moment. We just used to always try to outdo each other, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But in that span of 2 or 3 months I was in Red Deer is probably my best go-to moves. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Hey, Reader, quickly, now the Raptors, hey, they are where they're supposed to be. And you say, hey, you know what? There's really not talk about it. The Leafs are playing great. Is this like the best time for the Raptors just to have a bad year? They got guys injured and everyone's like, okay, we know they're going to be bad, and no one's getting upset that they're bad.
Oh yeah. First off, quick shout out to Teemu Solani for throwing the glove up and shooting it back.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, that was a beauty. Yeah, the Raptors are awful. They went 2-9 when Scotty Barnes was out with a broken orbital bone. He's hurt again. It's not going to get better. The Raptors it's one of those things where you're like, well, if you're going to be bad, be bad. When they lose by a couple points, everybody's usually happy, but they're not going to win anything this year. So if like the modern sports is, if you're going to lose big, right? You don't want to be in the middle. So they're in for a rough ride, I would say. And yes, if the Leafs get going, it's a great year for the Raptors to just kind of quietly do their own thing. I've been talking to people who go. They say the games are still fantastic. The crowds are still big. Everybody's into it, but I don't think nobody, even including Raptors superfan Nav Botch, is under the impression that this year is going to be anything but painful.
Yeah, no, agreed. Great stuff, Reader. We will chat with you again soon. Have yourself a great day.
Thanks, guys. And TR, say hi to Terry and Gail for me, buddy.
I will be having a few cold ones tomorrow night at the Old Man's. We'll give you a call.
Oh, I love it, buddy. See you, boys.
There you go. It's Ken Reed from Rogers Sports. So we'll come back quickly with 5 questions. Update you a month to give in more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. You get a free $50 play in the month of December.
Ain't it beautiful? What does excellence mean to you, and how does it impact your decisions? Friends, it's Carrie Dahl, and I know that at Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't an option, it's their everything. From customer satisfaction in sales, service, inventory, and retention, they excel in all. Congratulations, Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Volvo of Edmonton.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Weather forecast? Ugh. Savings forecast? Cha-ching. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 at Fountain Tire until December 14th. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Black Friday continues at The Brick. Hurry in and save up to $3,000 off big screen TVs. Plus, save up to 65% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching Love Seater chair. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off bedroom, dining, and home entertainment furniture. Plus, the more you buy, the more you save, with up to $300 off select brand name major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta? New players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet every week all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Edmonton Oil Kings Superhero Night at Rogers Place.
This Saturday night, Edmonton's mightiest heroes, your Oil Kings, go toe-to-toe with the Swift Current Broncos.
Fans are encouraged to come dressed up as your superhero of choice.
Meet your favorite superheroes on the concourse during the game for the ultimate selfie. Plus, at every home game, score Calmont Kids Food Combos for $10 or less.
Family fun that's second to none. Oil Kings v. Broncos.
7 p.m. Saturday. Great family entertainment at Rogers Place starts at just $20 a seat. Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
At On the Rocks, everyone's on the nice list this December. Even you, Sierra. We saw you shaking your ass on the dance floor.
Until December 31st, purchase $100 worth of gift cards at OTR and get a bonus $20 GC for free.
That's like 10 free hot dogs on Mondays.
Or 10 free tacos on Taco Tuesday.
How about 30 free wings on Wednesdays?
Or even 4 free drinks during happy hour.
However you divide it up, it's $20 free at On the Rocks. Calm down, Sierra.
On the Rocks, Jasper Ave and 118th.
Could your school, charity, or community group use financial support with a capital project? Maybe Vision Credit Union can lend a helping hand. Vision proudly offers helping hand grants of up to $10,000 to qualifying organizations for capital projects that benefit our branch communities. Apply by January 31st, 2025 for a chance to qualify. Helping hand grants up to $10,000 from Vision Credit Union. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through a lovely Thursday afternoon. How are you? Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Tomorrow we're going to be on location live at the Silent Ice Arena in Nisku, watching a little hockey as we do the show. So that'll be great. Looking forward to that. Also, a Pyramid of Giving tomorrow on the program. If you want to plan ahead, get involved. We're helping out the Christmas Bureau tomorrow. But we got 2 great packages. We got about 40 minutes left because we're going to end the auction today a little bit earlier at 5:30ish. Darren currently at $2,000 on package number 1. The dinner for well, it's really dinner for 10, but it's 6 of you. There'll be you and Darren's going to bring, or Bob or whoever wins 5. There's 6 of you, and it's a 5-course dinner. Wine pairings, all the beverages, all the desserts, everything's included in the private room, and you'll have Ladislav Smid, Eddie Steele, Carius, and Douglas as guests. So there'll be 10 of you. You'll have loads of fun. You know what? Get your own special server. Trust me, you'll have a great evening. They have it at CHOP. You can either choose to do it downtown or the Ellerslie location. It's a private room in either one, whichever one is more convenient for your group. And the date, there's no set date. We do it at a time in 2025. We won't do it before Christmas. There's no rush. At a time that's fitting for everybody and works out. So away you go. It'll be great. So Darren right now has a pretty good deal at $2,000. Package number 2 for the golfers. This is a great package from Fitted Golf. You're going to get the Fitted Golf driver fitting and evaluation, and this is like full on, man. They touch on every point that's going to make it so you get the proper shaft, you got the proper head. Every piece of it is hand built by them. It's fantastic. Okay. And, your grip, everything. Now the head, obviously they don't build the head, but they build it all, put it all together. So you do that, you have your own. It's going to be awesome. Fit perfectly just for you. Then you'll get a $750 GC to use for any other equipment you want fitted, or alterations to your existing woods or irons. You will also have the putter evaluation. So they go through the whole thing, and then you print out the results, they see it, and they show you everything about your putter swing, and it'll help you fix that as well. So that's currently with Troy at $1,500. So 833-401-1440. I like to get up a little, getting closer to face value, so we want to get there before the end of the show. I got 40 minutes. Now let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, as Boxing Week early access is on. Door Crasher deals, but only for 2 days starting this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You will let huge. You can save up to $2,000 on sectionals, $3,000 on big screen TVs, at free home delivery for any TV over 50 inches at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, question number 1. We know the Minnesota Wild, one of the top teams in the NHL, battling some injuries. What do you think is the biggest key to victory for the Oilers tonight?
For me, I think we're all dissecting this a little too much. Let's just play their normal game and not think about it too much. They're a better team. And that whole not winning since 2019, it means absolutely nothing. So I would just say play your game and don't think about things too much.
For the Edmonton Oilers, the past doesn't matter. I think for them, really, it's a good start against the Wild. I was looking the Wild like to jump out on teams, no question. Edmonton, I got to think it's in their head a little bit. Their core guys haven't won there in forever. So you want to come out, not going to change anything how they play defensively. But I'll say this, the key for me is, can the Oilers and McDavid take advantage of no Eriksson, Ek, and Brodin? I think that's big.
Question number 2. Will Bo Akey, the Oilers' second-round pick from the 2023 draft, make Team Canada for the World Juniors?
He's in tough. He is, because I think there's like 3 or 4 locks on D. So he's going to be in tough. He's going to have a really good camp. But my gut would be maybe not.
I would have to be at camp. I think the exact same. As far as all those picks, I trust the process and I watch and I educate myself when it comes out. But a lot of those guys, are just got to have a good camp and they'll make the team. If not, that's the way it goes. Living proof of that.
Question number 3, big game on a Thursday Night Football. NFC West battle, the 7-6 Rams and the 6-7 Niners. The Niners starting to get healthy here. Do you think either of these two teams will catch the Seahawks for the division lead?
I think either can. I don't know if they will, but I picked San Francisco at the beginning of the year, so I'm going to live and die by just to make the playoffs, and I thought that was a gimme at the beginning. But anyway, I say yes.
You know what? I like Seattle's game right now. That Rams victory over the Bills, though, I would give the Rams more of a chance. The 49ers, the running backs just can't stay healthy. And now getting Purdy back helps, but they're at home tonight. I'll say this, the winner tonight, if it's the Rams, then they can catch them. But if the 49ers win, they're still, it still doesn't catch them. And then if Seattle wins, they're still 2 games back. So I think, honestly, I'm going to go with the Rams as the only team that has a chance to catch them.
Yeah, if the Rams win tonight, Seahawks have the Packers and Vikings, which could be tough ones. Would set up a Week 18 matchup between those 2 teams. So if the Rams win, they could have a shot here. Question number 4. This is a ridiculous story. Ohio Representative Josh Williams introduced the OHIO Sportsmanship Act to make flag planting at midfield a felony in the state of Ohio. This stems from Michigan planting the flag after beating the number 2 ranked Buckeyes and all that ensued. No question, just thoughts.
Josh Williams might be the most thin-skinned representative ever. Now, this wasn't passed.
No.
Okay, good. Well, then there's somebody trying to get attention, but I think it's going to backfire because most people are going to look and say, my goodness, you are a thin-skinned person. That's the only thing I'd look at. That's embarrassing. A felony for planting a flag. Wonk, wonk, win the game.
Yeah, I honestly, first of all, if anybody did that, I couldn't believe when I saw it. And I couldn't believe, listening to Stephen A. Smith and these guys, that some people were all for it. First of all, should it be a felony? Are you kidding me? What are we doing here? What are we doing? It shouldn't be a felony. They should be terrified to do it. If that was my team, suspend it. Oh, you better be wearing your tough skin. I would go, if I saw another team coming on, fans, whatever, planting a flag at center ice, it's over. I would lose my mind. Well, it's a bad move to make because I would respect. There's no way I wouldn't come out giving 180% next game. Everybody, like a rabid dog. Are you kidding me? I can't believe it. Try that in hockey, and someone is going to get a broken orbital bone, man. That is ridiculous. It fires me up just thinking about it. But should it be a felony? That's absolutely ridiculous to be a felony. We're overreacting like so many things now. and I don't agree with it. But, try it against my team, and you're going to get a punch in the face. If you're lucky, that's all you're going to get.
Final question for you guys. On this day in 1977, one of Jason Strudwick's favorite movies, Saturday Night Fever, was released in theaters. What is your favorite dance movie?
Okay, so I love Shakespeare. I don't watch a lot of dance movies, okay? And when I say that, people laugh, a lot of them. Shakespeare is an unbelievable storyteller. If you get around the language that's hard to decipher, get the Coles Notes version of these stories. Like most people say, like plots of things now, like they're all derivative of Shakespeare, and he's just a genius at talking about love and power and greed and these virtues and, everything about the human condition. He's phenomenal at writing. I don't know if a lot of people realize West Side Story is a take on Romeo and Juliet. And people know the Romeo and Juliet, Romeo loved her and everything else, but I don't know if people really give the real story attention. It is an absolute gem of a story. It's one of the best written stories of all time. And West Side Story is really just an updated adaptation of that. Now, 2021, Steven Spielberg had a decent, I think it got good reviews. I saw it. It was pretty good. But I'm talking about the 1961. No, I'm going back. I'm not trying to be some old man saying this because it was written. It came out 16 years before I was born. But it's a great movie. Natalie Wood's a rocket. And it's a Shakespeare telling of, or it's a telling of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, I think, in a really cool and modern way that I think everybody can enjoy. It's just getting them to watch it. But trust me, if you watch that movie, you're going to like it.
Not bad choice. I'm going with the seventh highest grossing film of 1984.
You're going with Footloose?
I am.
Or Dirty Dancing, aren't you?
Footloose for sure. No, not Dirty Dancing.
I knew it.
Footloose, man. Ren McCormack. Of course, that's who the character Kevin Bacon had. I love, like Footloose's song still is a classic. I love it. Let's Hear It for the Boys from Denise Williams is also a great song. It's a great soundtrack, by the way. But I'm going Footloose with a young not young, Ren McCormack, I guess his character was young, but Kevin Bacon was fantastic in that movie. So I'm going with that. Cons?
Haven't seen too many. Scrolling through my list here on IMDb, I did enjoy the movie Honey with Jessica Alba way back in the day. And I guess another one that I was forced to watch a few times was You Got Served. In hindsight, the storyline is not very good, but some pretty good dancing, actually. So You Got Served.
By the way, Gregor, that's number 2 for me would be Footloose.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that he came in and he upset the preacher, whatever buddy's name.
Yeah.
I can't remember the buddy's name. But it was a little bit older than me, but I went to Catholic school and I was just rooting for Ren the whole time. Like that's, as far as dance movies go, that is a banger, if you can say that. I mean, I thought that was just perfect for the time as well.
Yeah.
Timing's everything.
Well, you look back, the Reverend, why they banned dancing for anybody who didn't know.
Reverend, yeah.
Reverend, what was it? Reverend Moore, Reverend Mike, I know, something like that. Anyway, as you get into the movie, I don't want to ruin it because if anybody out there hasn't watched Footloose, if you're a younger generation, Declan, etc., watch Footloose. It's very good. The tractor scene alone is a classic scene. Classic. TR, enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the weekend. We will chat with you on Tuesday. By then, the Oilers will have played 3 division winners. Mini tonight, Saturday afternoon, Vegas, Monday night, Florida. And we'll see where the Oilers come out after 3 games against 3 top dogs.
Go Oil. Thank you, Edmonton. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Jason. And see you in just a few days, Oil Country. Thank you.
There you go. That is Terry Ryan. Guys, the transition from talking about smashing someone's orbital bone to talking about Broadway is wild. Only on the Jason Gregor Show. Hey, you know what? We like to cover all angles, Tyler and Millwoods. That's what we like. I like that. It's true. It's good 5 questions from the con man. Let's get to Sports Update with Connor Halley, brought to you by the Alberta GMC dealers. And the Canada-wide clearance continues till the end of the month. Get a $7,500 cash credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation. See more at gmcoffers.ca.
is a Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers in action, taking on the Minnesota Wild. Puck drop 6:30 in that one. We've got pregame coverage coming up for you at 5:30 with Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, and Donovan Paulson. Elsewhere around the NHL, you got the Ducks, Leafs, Canadians, Penguins, Kings, Devils, Jackets host the Caps, Sharks in St. Louis, Stars host the Preds, Jets take on the Golden Knights, Flames up against the Lightning, and the Panthers in Vancouver. In the NFL, Week 15 kicks off with the Rams heading to the Bay Area, taking on the Niners. 6:15 kickoff in that one in the Association Heat. Hosting the Raptors, Celtics take on the Pistons and the Kings in New Orleans. In the AJ, one game tonight, Fort Mac hosting Drumheller, puck drop 7:30 at the Center Fire Place. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and get to Oiler pregame coverage. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area. Prices exclude delivery.
Checking off your gift list can go more smoothly when you give smoothies. From now till December 31st, buy a $30 Booster Juice gift card and gift yourself with any regular size smoothie for free. Try the new salted caramel smoothie made with vanilla oat beverage, vanilla frozen yogurt, and decadent caramel. It pairs magically with the salted caramel booster ball, bursting with Score toffee bites, cinnamon, maple syrup, cashew butter, and more. Happiest of holidays from Booster Juice. Download the Booster Rewards app today.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches. We provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-0880 or visit silentrides.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Black Friday continues at The Brick. Hurry in and save up to $3,000 off big screen TVs. Plus, save up to 65% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off bedroom, dining, and home entertainment furniture. Plus, the more you buy, the more you save, with up to $300 off select brand name major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through a lovely Thursday afternoon. Welcome back. Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. Your opportunity to get in and just for the fun game, just for the opportunity to get the Daily Grand, which is, of course, you'll win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Now, you can take one lump sum if you like. Or you can just have that enjoyment getting $1,000 a day. PlayAlberta.ca. Use the promo code Gregor50 and you'll also get a free $50 play. Oilers underdog tonight in Minnesota. Maybe not a surprise considering they haven't won there in so many years. But actually, no, sorry. Edmonton's the favorite at PlayAlberta.ca. Maybe they're looking at the injuries to Brodin and Eriksson Ek going with the Oilers. Interesting. Also, month of giving today. We're going to end it at the bottom of the hour. Okay, so if you want in, 833-401-1440, our dinner package with Steele and Schmid and Carius and Douglas. It'll be 6 of you. We'll be joining those 4. And you'll be going to Chop Steakhouse, where it's a 5-course meal, all the wine pairings, all the beverages that you want to try. You'll have them that night and currently Darren has it at $2,000, which is nice. We just got to raise up to $1,550 on our golf package, which is courtesy of Fitted Golf, where you will get a specialized driver fitting and evaluation. Okay, so you do the whole fitting. They go through everything, and they're going to build it just for you. This is not one where well, you know what, we think you're a 9.5 or a 10 loft, and then we order one. No. They build it right there at Fitted Golf. And then you'll get $750 in GCs to use if you want to do any other equipment or you want to alter some of your irons or woods or what have you. Also, you will then get the Pro Putter Check, which is a full report on your current putter swing / motion to see, okay, what's good, what's wrong, how do you fix it to make you better on the green? Because, hey, let's be honest, the way to eliminate a lot of your strokes usually will come from the green. And so we're up to $1,550 there. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Again, this ends at 5:30. And around 5:25, if your phone rings, answer it because it's a con man. We always like to call everybody, give them a last chance. Now, let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, where underground infrastructure, always important. If you see it around, just remind them, they're Oilers fans just like you. They want to get home to the games. Drive slowly and cautiously through construction zones. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us once again. Spec, how you doing?
Well, I got the Leafs in Anaheim on here on TV in front of me, and all I can ask you, Jay, is how did the Anaheim Ducks end up with this uniform? Is this not the ugliest uniform in the league, but maybe the ugliest uniform in the history of the league? What do you think?
I love the orange. But it's my second favorite color. So,
oh my God, they look like a bunch of pylons out there. No, I used to like the Anaheim uniform, but they jumped the shark, man. That thing is orange helmets. Are you kidding me?
Well, it's a lot of orange. You're right. So I can see some people don't like orange, but I don't mind it. Like, you know what? I'll say this: if they were winning and their team was good right now, those jerseys would be so popular.
I don't think you could ever win in that jersey. I think that jersey forces you to lose, Jason. That's how ugly it is.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God, that's an ugly uniform.
Like, a lot of people didn't like the orange jerseys of the Oilers, including the Oilers. That's why they don't wear it very much anymore. But I actually kind of like the Oilers orange. But obviously, I'm in the minority here.
Well, remember the whites they had? Those were a disaster.
Yeah, I didn't those either.
Yeah, well, that's what Anaheim's basically wearing the same uniform with a white base and a lot of orange. Anyhow, what are you gonna say?
There you go, Spec. Put your shades on. Oilers Wild. They haven't won there. They've lost 6 in a row. They haven't won since 2019 when Ty Ratty scored the game-winning game. Game-winning.
You looked up the game sheet.
I did, yes. And it's been that long. But, and it's now the Oilers, no Brodin, no Eriksson Ek. 2 guys that have done a pretty good job of, and I use it in quotations, containing McDavid, because he's still, 5 points in 6 games is not terrible. But for him, that's kind of that's well below what he normally does. So I look at this game tonight and I just look, because Ryan Hartman's playing center now tonight because they don't have him. And Rossi's their first line center. So you got McDavid and Draisaitl going up against Rossi and Hartman. That's a real big advantage for Edmonton down the middle tonight.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage, huge. And you get Minnesota on a night without Eriksson Ek and without Brodin. That's like, well, it's like getting the Oilers without, say, Ekholm and Draisaitl. So this is the time here. Edmonton isn't going to play any better hockey than they're playing in any December. Like, this is as good as you're going to play in December. They're playing fantastic. They got their confidence. They're quite healthy. They got an opponent that isn't healthy. They're missing 2 key guys. It's probably time to quit losing to Minnesota tonight, Jay. I would say the Oilers are ready to win a hockey game tonight. Picker's playing goal. He tends to let in 2 or less every night, so they got to put some goals on the board in mini.
Yeah, they do for sure. It'll be hard. You've got these 2 teams. I was looking in the last 3 weeks. Minnesota lowest goals against. The Oilers 3rd lowest goals against. Neither team gets any power plays. They don't draw many. They don't take any. Like this might be a low event game. I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm looking at the recent stats between these 2 teams, very disciplined. They don't give up a lot, and neither team's. Well, Edmonton's offense is better, but it's not like the Wild have been lighting up offensively. So I'm curious if somehow Edmonton can find a way to create some offense.
Well, it's funny because I think the Tampa game was probably a fairly low event game. Not as low as the score made it look. I mean, there was 5 breakaways in the game, which is very rare.
Yes.
But, think of low event hockey. The Oilers played a fairly low event game in Vegas. 1-0 they lost. And they outchanced and outplayed Vegas. They had more of the chances, but they couldn't score. They'd lose the game. Another game like that against Tampa, a 2-1 game, not a ton of chances. And, they get the extra goal, they win the game. I'm going to say to you, Jay, that if I have Draisaitl and McDavid and Hyman's going and Bouchard and the Oilers power play, I think that low event games favors the Edmonton Oilers. If we're going to split up very few chances, I like Edmonton's chances of scoring on very few chances more than most teams.
Well,
so
that's fair.
Low event hockey should be fine with the Oil.
Yeah, you know what? That makes sense in some sense because obviously you got McDavid and Draisaitl. They still need a few other guys here to get going offensively. And I don't know if it will or not. Like, what the guy who's really hasn't done much all year. Like, I know he scored the nice overtime goal, but man, they need more from Nugent Hopkins.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's got to be a factor here, and not just a factor alongside. He can't just be finishing or doing things that McDavid starts. He's got to drive something here, right? He's still a veteran player. He's a good player. He's got to once in a while be a threat by himself, and he's not doing it. It's not been an effective year for Nugent Hopkins. He's sound defensively. He's doing his part in the power play, and power play hasn't been great. But in terms of Nuge doing things by himself, he's not getting a lot done. You're not wrong when you say it.
Yeah, like he just hasn't been talked about that much, because hey, they won a lot of games lately. I get it, but I just when I look up and then at the game, and I'm kind of like, man, I didn't really notice 93 tonight, and that could be a good thing when you're talking about a third pair defenseman. If I'm like, hey, I didn't really notice Ty Emerson other than blocking a shot. Well, great, not making any mistakes. You're your first line left winger, and I wonder how long the leash is at some point as a coach. Say, you know what? Maybe I'll just try Jeff Skinner there because at some point you're going to need some production. I said it for years. Yes, Puljujärvi can't just play with McDavid and never score. Nugent Hopkins's got to start doing something offensively.
No, it's a privileged spot, right?
Yes.
It's a privileged spot. Now Connor McDavid will have a lot to say with this. I'm not telling you that he sets the lines on the team, but McDavid gets. I would say to you, am I wrong when I say that McDavid has a lot of input into who his wingers are going to be? I'd say he does. And is he ready to give up on Nugent Hopkins and move him, and shake things up? They won't shake it up while they're winning. I don't care how Nuge is playing. If he continues to be unproductive and they start losing some games, then maybe your Skinner to the first line thing has a shot here, Jay. And I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but as long as they're winning hockey games, we can think it's a good idea. It's not, and I don't think it's going to happen to you.
No, I'm not. I'm not when they're winning. I think that's a fair statement. I just look and you say, like, at some point he needs to show more than what he's showing. Like he's been able to get by, and they're winning lately, but he's not really being a consistent contributor to this team offensively.
Oh, no doubt about it, right? I think he walked in the other night and he ripped a shot on the power play, and I thought to myself, man, I haven't seen much of that this year. Because he's got the nice wrist shot. We've all seen it. So yeah, I mean, what's his point totals this year? I'm just looking it up here.
Like 5-on-5, it's nothing that I can think of. But
right.
Like, what does he get? Does he have 11 or does he have like more than 14 points?
He's got 4 goals, 14 points in 28 games. He's on pace. He's on pace for
41 points. 41.
He's on pace for 41 points.
Yeah.
40-point season. And 2 years ago, he was a 104-point player. So, listen, guys have good years, guys have bad years. I get it. But he's been a consistent guy. I got to think he finds it in the second half a little bit more here. I guess I'd say this to you. Nugent Hopkins has been a pretty good player in this town for a long time, Jay. It's fair for us to expect more. Like, it's fair. And I expect more, and you expect more, and so do the fans. But I also think it's fair to say we've only played 28 games here. Let's see what happens with this guy. He tends to deliver. By the time the season's over, he tends to deliver, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's never been a great 5-on-5 player, but now he's like below average. He's 9th amongst order forwards in 5-on-5 scoring. And he's basically playing all of his minutes with either McDavid or Draisaitl for the most part. There might be a few that he hasn't, right? Like he's played, I think, 5-on-5, the third most minutes of any order forward, but he's 9th in points, and he's playing with McDavid and Draisaitl, a lot of it. Like, it's just, you got to do more.
More offensively, for sure. He's a good defensive player. He takes care of his own end. He doesn't get, it's not that often when a goal goes in the Oilers net that we look around and dissect the goal and decide, hey, that was 93's guy. Not very often. Like, he's a solid defensive player. But when you play all those minutes next to 97, the puck's got to go in more. You got to create more. Maybe he's got to set up 97 once in a while instead of the other way around. So, yeah, I mean, we're all in agreement here. He's got to do more. He's had a poor offensive year. It's got to get better than this. I guess the only thing we can talk about is, do we think it will get better? And past history tells me it will for him.
Mark Spector joins us. Spec, you look at the other things like the Oilers defense, the new young kid they got in from Boston. Stan Bowman actually traded for him when he was a GM in Chicago from Detroit. And then Bowman left Chicago, actually traded him to Boston for Taylor Hall. He's played with Bouchard. So there's a lot of Oilers connections for him. I look at, he even said, hey, he's got to get up to speed here. I could see him maybe making his Oilers debut next Thursday against Boston, the team that he was with, albeit briefly, or one of those back-to-back games, San Jose and Ottawa. I'd be a little surprised if you're going to throw the kid's first game of the year where he hasn't played because of injury against Vegas or Florida.
Yeah, no. I very much doubt that. I would say that you're picking a San Jose or an Ottawa game likely, unless there's an injury. I mean, who's coming out? Stetcher's coming out when he goes in, right?
Yeah.
So I guess Emberson could come out, but I don't see any point in taking Emberson out of a game.
No. It'd be Stetcher, I think, before Emberson, because Emerson's your number one penalty killer.
Yeah. So there you go. So anyhow, listen, like, here's how I look at a guy. Listen, I see people are talking about this guy like he might be an unbelievable player. He's been through a few organizations. If he was an unbelievable player, he wouldn't have moved around as much as he moved around. You're not getting unbelievable players off the waiver wire, folks. They're not on waivers because they're unbelievable. So let's start there. But I want to say this, Jay. Teams at Edmonton's window, we all know this. They trade away all their draft picks. They trade away their future prospects. They trade guys away like Mike Kesselring. And they're lean. Edmonton doesn't have a lot of future. They don't have a whole bunch of guys in Bako that we love here. But you got to make the odd move and grab the odd guy back. Like, they get Emberson in that CC deal. Well, you know what? I don't mind Emberson. Like, I don't know how good he's going to be, but it looks like he's going to be a player. He might be a player for a while here, so that's a good play. You get Podkolzin for a fourth, right? Podkolzin's not a great player, but he's a pretty decent, you can use this guy. He looks like a middle six left winger, the one you lost in Holloway. So that's a smart move. Maybe this guy can play. Maybe he comes in and you say, you know what? We're not getting draft picks. because we're trading them all away. But here's how we're renewing our pipeline. And it's smart. So far, so good on Emberson and Podkolzin. And maybe this guy's another one of them, Jay.
Yeah, you never know.
Never
Spec,
know.
enjoy the game. We will chat with you later.
All right. Sounds good, Jay.
There you go. That's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. You got, we'll give a few minutes here for the final bids. If you want in, Con's going to call people 833-401-1440 as Troy's back in 1650 for the golf. And Darren might get a steal here at the 2000 for the dinner with Karras and the fellas and Smead and Steele. 833-401-1440. Coming up, we'll have the pregame show. Andrew Walker, myself, Donovan Paulson, of course, orders in Minnesota to take on the Wild. We'll get to that, and we'll update you on the month of giving and more. It's Jason Gregor, Connor Halley through the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. The text line, of course, you can keep texting 833-401-1440 in our well inbox.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility. Available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine. You can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Black Friday continues at the Brick. Hurry in and save up to $3,000 off big screen TVs. Plus, save up to 65% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching Love Cedar chair. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off bedroom, dining, and home entertainment furniture. Plus, the more you buy, the more you save, with up to $300 off select brand name major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
A career in the public service is better in Alberta. Better wages, lower taxes. Better job opportunities with our thriving economy. Better chances for advancement. Plus a better future with new investment in healthcare and education. Public service. It's better here. Learn more and discover new career opportunities in the public sector at alberta.ca/better here. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It